Mellish's own goal in the first half, cancelled out by Omari Patrick 7 minutes from time. Best chance in extra time, Christian Dennis at the near post from a corner. Brilliant save by Ben Hinchcliffe. We're going to go to penalties for the second day in a row. Talk Sport 2. Do you know what? Nigel Adley was clean shaven when this game started. We've been playing for so long, he's got a beard. It's on Talk Sport 2, the penalties between Carlisle and Stockport County.
Let's update you from the Scottish Premiership. 3 relegation games today. Kilmarnock leading Ross County 2-0 in the crucial one. Motherwell 1, bottom of the table, Dundee United 2, and St Johnstone 1, Livingston 0. As it stands, Dundee United will still be bottom, but they'll only be bottom behind Ross County on goal difference. Kilmarnock will avoid the relegation playoff. It'll be Dundee United down automatically, replaced by Dundee, and Ross County in the playoff against Partick. Right, let's go round the grounds and remind you of the team news to the King Power Stadium. First of all, Leicester against West Ham. Sam Matface.
3 changes from the Newcastle game where they set out to defend, but the 5-man defence has gone and Jamie Vardy is only on the bench. This is the 11 Dean Smith hopes will save Leicester City. Everson in goal, Castagna, Evans, Fass and Thomas, Tielemans, Dewsbury Hall and Samare, Maddison and Barnes behind Iheanacho in attack. West Ham include most of their big hitters. Zuma, Soucek and Bowen are on the bench. Fabianski in goal. A back 4 of Sofau, Kera, Aguerd and Cresswell. Downs and Rice, Benrahma, Paqueta and Fornals behind Antonio in attack.
That's Leicester West Ham. It's live on Talk Sport. The show comes to you from here at Goodison Park, where it's Everton against Bournemouth. Matt Jones.
2 changes for Everton, both of them enforced by injury, as Nathan Patterson and Dominic Calvert-Lewin drop out. They're replaced by Connor Cody and Damari Gray. So it's Pickford in goal. It looks like a back 3 of Tarkowski, Cody and Mina. Then a midfield 5. McNeil and Iwobi will be the 2 wide players, with Garner, Anana and Gay in the middle, and then Decore supporting Gray up top. 3 changes for Bournemouth. Meanwhile, Mark Travers, Donago Ouattara and Philip Billing come in. Neto, the goalkeeper, drops out. He's had a family bereavement, so has sadly returned to Brazil. The Bournemouth players will have black armbands in support of him today. Lewis Cook and Jayden Anthony, the other 2 players to drop out. So it's Travers in goal, Smith, Sabani, Senesi and Kelly as the back 4. Brooks, Lerma, Christie, Ouattara and Billing in midfield, and then Solanke up top. Everton v Bournemouth from 4:30.
And the other relegation games at Ellen Road. It's Leeds against Spurs. It's live on Talk Sport 2. Mark Wilson.
Yeah, game Leeds must win, and Sam Allardyce names 6 defenders in his starting 11. 1 change from a loss at West Ham. Cooper in for Bamford. They go Robles in goal. Ayling, Christensen, Verber, Cooper, Stroik at the back. McKennie, Koch, Forshaw and Harrison behind Rodrigo up top. 1 change for Spurs as well. Porro in for Danjuma, who's on the bench. It's Forster in goal. Emerson Real, Sanchez, Longley and Davis at the back. Porro, Bissouma, Skip and Son across the middle. Kulusevski and Kane up top. Live and exclusive on TalkSport 2 with Dance and Perry Groves. It's Leeds against Spurs.
Right, round the other grounds to Villa Park for Aston Villa against Brighton. Here's Jeff Peters.
6 successive home league wins for Villa, who name an unchanged side. Ollie Watkins, overlooked by England, aiming to end his recent goal drought, win today and they make the Europa Conference playoffs. A stack of Brighton alterations, 6 in total, including a first start for 19-year-old Swedish midfielder Yasin Ayari. Evan Ferguson is back. Webster, Veltman, McAllister and Undav also return. Those missing out are all on the bench.
Brentford, Man City at the GE Tech. Joe Shannon.
2 changes for Brentford, who can still make Europe. Zanka and Damsgaard come in, with Jensen and Schade dropping out. 7 changes for the champions, with De Bruyne left out, Gundogan, Haaland and Rodri all on the bench. Brentford against Man City at the GE Tech.
Arsenal take on Wolves at the Emirates. Alfie Reynolds.
And Arsenal are unchanged for their final match this season. Gabriel becomes the first outfield player for the club since Lee Dixon and Paul Merson in 1996 to start all league matches in a season. It's 6 changes for Wolves, but Ruben Neves is on the bench for what could be his final appearance for the club. It's Arsenal hosting Wolves.
Chelsea take on Newcastle at Stamford Bridge. Jay Robson.
3 changes by Frank Lampard from the Chelsea side that lost to United on Thursday. Thiago, Loftus-Cheek and Sterling all come in for Fofana, Chukwuemeka and Mudryk, who are on the bench. For Newcastle, and Eddie Howe makes 4 changes from that stifling draw at home to Leicester. Dubravka starts in place of the injured Nick Pope in goal. No Callum Wilson in the starting lineup, only named on the bench along with Dan Burn. No Longstaff at all. In come Gordon, St Maximum and Matt Targett. The ref is Jared Gillett. At Stamford Bridge, it's Chelsea v Newcastle.
Manchester United take on Fulham at Old Trafford. Here's TalkSport's Mickey Gray.
Yeah, with one eye on the FA Cup next weekend, Eric Ten Hag made 6 changes. Dalot, Malaysia, Fred, Garnacho, Rashford all come into the starting 11. Can Marcus Rashford add to his 30 goals? Just the one change for Fulham, out goal Reed, and in comes Lukic. This is where Alexander Mitrovic got sent off in March, but he's back in the starting 11 today. Manchester United against Fulham.
Crazy that cup tie, didn't he? Southampton take on Liverpool at St Mary's. Alex Crook.
Just the one change for already relegated Southampton. Record signing Kamaldeen Sulemana replaces Joe Aribo in attack. 7 alterations for Liverpool. That includes farewell appearances for both Bobby Firmino and James Milner. It's Southampton against Liverpool at St Mary's.
Crystal Palace take on Nottingham Forest at Selhurst Park. Ollie Klink.
Palace are unchanged from their draw at Fulham last time, so starts for Eze, Elise and Edouard. As for Nottingham Forest, there are 3 changes. Out come Navas, Felipe and Danilo. In come Hennessy, Bolly and Johnson. At Selhurst Park, it's Crystal Palace against Nottingham Forest.
Well, back here at Goodison Park, the fans have filled the seats. There's a lot of blue shirts, as you would imagine, being worn in the home sections today. They've been noisy during the warm-up, very noisy, as the Everton players finished that warm-up and went into the dressing rooms. And Trevor Sinclair alongside me here at Goodison Park. I'm just looking down. The Premier League banner is being held there on the pitch, waiting for the players to come out. Could be the last ever time that banner's held at this old stadium, Goodison Park.
Yeah, incredible thought, Adrian. The players have got it in their hands, though. They've got to go out there. They've got to control the nerves, because obviously the expectancy, you can sense it already. The fans outside, we've seen some videos earlier, and it was a real carnival atmosphere where they're getting behind this team. We can hear them now. They're just starting to sing along to Everton. And yeah, the players have got to control their nerves and make sure they get the detail right that Sean puts them out there with, whether it's set pieces against, patterns of play, what's needed from them, and make sure they don't let this occasion pass them by.
Well, you know what? The players can have no complaints whatsoever. There's been no protests. There's been a big noise outside. You were looking at footage outside the ground earlier, Trevor, on the street just outside where the main stand where we're in.
Yeah.
And I have to say, the fans have been fantastic. They may feel nervous inside. They may be dreading the whole thing. I've seen grown men just walk across hugging people who they maybe not know them very well, but sit next to them every single week. They've all been like hugging each other, knowing the emotion of the occasion required them all to be together, to be as one, and listen to them.
Yeah, listen, you can sense it. You can sense it. This could be a historical day for the football club. You know, that's how big it can be, because if they manage to retain their Premier League status, they can rebuild. Whether it's going to be Sean Dyche or whether it's going to be a different coach, they can rebuild. They can get the right players in. Hopefully they can get Dominic Calvert-Lewin fit and doing and firing like we know he can, because he's shown glimpses of that, even though he's only been back a month. And get this great club performing again, because I think these fans have been so loyal. They deserve it. They're moving into the new stadium. It could be the start of a really exciting time for Everton Football Club.
Well, the sun is behind us in this main stand, so there's a shadow over the first third of the pitch. The rest is bathed in sunshine, and the Everton fans in good voice. What about the Leicester City fans as they prepare to take on West Ham United? Scott Minto, how's the King Power sounding right now?
Oh, mate, I don't know if you can hear it, but it is so loud. And to be fair to the PA, really hyping things up. I can see flags waving. It's a full stadium. It's an amazing atmosphere here, and you just know they want to get behind their team. They want to try and see positive football in the first 15 minutes. As we said, Aid, if they were to get it, that would get through to Goodison Park. I don't know if you can hear me. I can hardly hear myself. Amazing atmosphere here.
Yeah, and again, it's just ramped up. They're singing the traditional Everton anthem. Fight for Us is a banner that's being held in the park stand. That's Philip Carter park stand away to our right. That's the stand with the big blue letters, Goodison, standing above the roof. Fight for Us, and that's exactly what the players need to do. And I even think, Trevor, I may be naive here, I even think if they show fight and give 100% and it doesn't work out, I think the fans will forgive.
Absolutely. All fan bases will. You know, all they want, the players, every one of them players that plays the starting 11, the squad, the subs that come on, they want every player to give every ounce of effort while they're on that pitch. And if they do that, any proper fan will stay supporting you.
Absolutely spot on. Fight for Us, it says to our right. The League Two playoff final at Wembley is all over. How did it end up, Ian Abrahams?
It ended up, Adrian, with promotion here at Wembley via penalties for Carlisle United. They came from behind in the game to draw 1-1, and they scored 5 penalties out of 5. It was down in the end to Taylor Charters, their substitute, to fire home the winning penalty. The only one who missed on either side was poor old Ryan Rydell early on for Stockport County. So Carlisle United are into League One. Tomorrow live on TalkSport, we have the League One playoff final.
Wow, Paul Simpson, he came in middle of last season, rescued them from relegation. Now he's taken them up.
Yeah, amazing. Has been poorly in between that as well. I think it's a stunning story. Really pleased for him. Did well with the under-20s England side. Obviously an ex-Manchester City player. I've got a lot of time for him, and I think he's done exceptionally well as a coach. Now he's his own coach as well. You know, he was doing the youth team, he was assisting. Now he's his own man, and he's shown that he's got the quality.
Extraordinary stuff. Carlisle promoted, the League One playoff final live on TalkSport tomorrow from Wembley. Join us from 1. We'll have all the build-up. We'll be reflecting on the Premier League season as well during those couple of hours before kick-off at 3 between Sheffield Wednesday and Barnsley. And listen out, there's a little feature where I may just reflect on that semi-final where Posh were 4-0 up and managed to get themselves knocked out of the playoffs.
Wow.
Yeah, well, listen, if you can't laugh at yourself, what's the point?
Absolutely.
So look out for that. That's between after 1 o'clock tomorrow live on TalkSport. But the teams are getting ready in the tunnel here at Goodison Park. Jordan Pickford, the skipper. What will happen to him if Everton go down? The England number 1.
I mean, listen, I think the fact that him and Gareth got such a good relationship and Gareth trusts him, it's almost an argument to say that he could stay here and still be England's number 1.
It could well happen. There is a lot of trust there. You're spot on. There's loads of banners being brought out. We are the Goodison gang with all the trophies on it. The Everton motto, nil satis, nil optimum, away to in the stand opposite us, and away to our left, the Howard Kendall Gladys Street stand as well. And animated pictures of some Everton legends away to our left, as well as the two teams come out of the tunnel and onto the pitch with the Z-Cars theme playing loud and proud here. Can the Everton players do their job, or will it end in disappointment on Merseyside this afternoon? As the officials come out, ball is taken from the plinth. Out comes Jordan Pickford holding the hand of the mascot, waves to the crowds. Everton have a job to do, but what a noise here at Goodison Park. It's been a brilliant Premier League season. It's been a season of partnerships, a season of duos. Tuchel and Conte, Piers Morgan and Ronaldo, Leicester and set pieces, Everton and the drop, Southampton and the inevitable, Leeds and chaos, Chelsea and bottom half finish, Haaland and goals, City and the title again, Arsenal and the process, White and Jordan, Gerrard and then Emery, Newcastle and the Champions League, Brighton and the Europa League, Liverpool and the Europa League, Spurs and Spursy. One more duo to go. It's the two that are going down. The show is live from Everton Bournemouth. Commentary on TalkSport 2 right now of Leeds against Spurs. Commentary right now on TalkSport for Leicester, West Ham, with former Chelsea Cup winner Scott Minto, alongside TalkSport's chief football commentator Sam Matterpace.
Thank you, Adrian. Afternoon, everybody. Strap yourselves in. After 370 exhilarating games for Leeds or Everton or Leicester, this is it. It all ends here. Leicester will be relegated in the next 90 minutes if they fail to win. Everton will be safe if they are victorious. It's a simple equation. If Leicester win, they need Everton not to. It's a day when the calculators can have a rest. There's a flag flying in front of me, flapping in the wind. Etched on the face of a fox, it says, "Bring the fight." It's not quite the noise that has greeted the team that survived in 2015, the FA Cup winning strike from Yuri Tielemans, or the moment that Andrea Bocelli sang Nessun Dorma to the inexplicable, unimaginable champions. It's a bit more apprehensive than that. The legend of Leicester, the team that gave the rest of football the dream, needs one more jaw-dropping twist. If Dwight McNeil, the Everton forward, is true to his word that he can be the Toffees' Michael Jordan, then this will be Leicester's last dance. West Ham have silverware in their sights. For them, this is the game before the game, and Leicester will hope that they're distracted as a result of that. Maybe the man of the hour will be Dean Smith. He got a point against West Ham in July 2020 to save Aston Villa, but he knows that a point will not be enough tonight. Let's go through the two teams, starting with Leicester City. They made 3 changes from the defensive draw at Newcastle. Everson is their goalkeeper. Castagna, Evans and Fass and Thomas, the back 4. Tielemans, Dewsbury Hall and Samare. Barnes and Maddison, and then Iheanacho. They're all in blue with thick gold trim. It's a new kit for Leicester today, their new season kit for next season. Where will they be wearing it? James Maddison walks over to the supporters on the far side, gives them a big clap, asks them for more cheers. Fabianski is the West Ham goalkeeper. The rest of the West Ham outfield players in claret shirts, blue shorts. Sofau, Kera again and Cresswell, Downs and Rice, Benrahma, Paqueta, Fornals and Antonio making up a strong looking team. Our referee is Simon Hooper. Tomorrow we've got the League One playoff final for you. The Europa League final to come with Sevilla going for yet another triumph against Jose Mourinho's team. All the football all the time right here on Talk Sport. The players take the knee to remind everybody that they want social justice and equality, and we're off and underway on the final day of the Premier League season. Scott Minto, FA Cup winner, and a man who suffered relegation too. Leicester and Leeds can seek solace in the knowledge that there are 9 previous instances of teams starting the final day in the relegation zone and avoiding the drop. What can you see happening here?
Well, do you know what, Sam? I've said that I think Everton being in the position they're in, can they really give it away? I'm wavering now. I'm not 100% sure. Leicester quite simply have to do the job here. But as I said before, if they get that early goal, then there's every chance that will seep through to Goodison Park, and that will put pressure on Everton players that haven't been able to deal with the pressure this season. The atmosphere here is nothing short of incredible, so the players need to live up to that.
Just remember, on a day like this, the internet is fast, but it's not as fast as Talk Sport, so when the goals go in, you'll hear them first right here. Here is Iheanacho coming forward down the left in the Leicester City blue. He centres the ball, but it's not a great pass into Barnes, who's coming in off the left flank and into the channel, but it was defended well by Thilo Kehrer, and it's out on this near side. Leicester have got it deep inside their own territory. A minute played on Talk Sport, where it's 0-0. And remember, we'll be round the ground as soon as anything changes up and down the country in the Premier League. Sofau clears from the right fullback position, high up in the air, travels out towards this near touchline, and Pablo Fornals, who started 4 of the last 5 games and scored that very important goal at RZ away from home, just sees the ball out on this near side. Leicester City with the early domination of possession. Leicester may be able to take inspiration from their women's side, who pulled off their own great escape yesterday. They started 2023 on 0 points and survived by 5 points. They got 16 in the end. A brilliant job by Willie Kirk. Dean Smith hoping that his side end up having a similar sort of turnaround, although it will be a slightly quicker turnaround that's required. Here's Samare just short of halfway. Out wide towards Castagna. Plays it infield. Samare's driven ball goes through to Dewsbury Hall, but he's immediately dispossessed by Fornals, who rushes the ball up to Antonio, holds it up well, plays it to his left. Paqueta skips away from Samare, and now Leicester on the back foot as West Ham come forward down the far side. Benrahma jinks in towards the edge of the penalty area, runs at Castagna, puts it out and away for the first corner of the game. Here's Scott Minto.
Yeah, well played, good defending from Castagna. The last thing they can afford to do, Leicester, is give away this early goal. And once Benrahma's got in the box as a fullback, you're always worried about making a tackle, but it was a very well-timed one.
This is Talk Sport. First corner of the game goes West Ham's way. Remember, Leicester have to win and make sure that they get a little bit of luck from Goodison Park. Bournemouth have to get something from that game. The ball's whipped in towards the near post. It's flicked on. Leeds trying to get out of relegation dodge as well, but they need Leicester and Everton to lose in order to do that. The ball's loose inside the West Ham half after the corner was cleared out towards the far side, and it's picked up by Benrahma. There's already been a goal at Ellen Road. Let's get to Mark Wilson.
It's Leeds 0, Spurs 1. Harry Kane on the right spot. Ball played in by Son, edge of the area, and Sam Allardyce playing 6 defenders is not working. Inside 2 minutes for the 6th successive season, Harry Kane scores on the final day. It's Leeds 0, Spurs 1.
29th goal of the season for Harry Kane. He's 1 short now of equalling his best Premier League goals return in a single season. Spurs, who haven't won a match outside London since October, in front, and that's dreadful for Leeds United, who will be relegated from the top flight for the 7th time should they be defeated today.
He couldn't be more defensive either by the sounds of it, could he, Big Sam?
We looked at the team earlier on and we just basically thought they were playing 7 defensive players really in that team, a back 5 and 2 holding midfield players. Here on the right-hand side, the ball has been picked up by Fornals, played centrally into Paqueta. Paqueta coming forward for West Ham United. 0-0 the score, 4 minutes in. The way things are at this moment in time, it's Everton who are surviving in the Premier League. Here's Paqueta, over towards the far side. Rice, back to Benrahma. Could be the last appearance in the Premier League for West Ham captain Declan Rice today. James Maddison could be making his last appearance in Leicester blue, and he's floated the ball forward beautifully for Barnes to chase. Fabianski's had to come out of his area to clear it. He does. He's retrieved by Dewsbury Hall, and Leicester have got it back again. It's the kind of ball that only Maddison can play, and they're almost in, Scott Minto.
Yeah, and I think Lucas Fabianski, he just should have stayed in his own box, and if he had done that, he could have caught it, which I think shows exactly how much they've got them a little bit nervous, these West Ham players, and certainly the West Ham goalkeeper as well, because of this atmosphere.
Leeds trail at home to Tottenham by 1-0. Harry Kane with the goal. And that live commentary continues over on TalkSport 2 with Ian Danter and Perry Groves. The worst possible start for Leeds United. They, Leicester and Everton all fighting against relegation. And if that scoreline stays the same, Leicester will think, well, hold on, there's only one more to ensure that we have to jump in order to get there. They're ahead of Leeds at the moment in the table. And that result just sort of knocks Leeds further down the pecking order and provides the impetus for Leicester to go and attack this game. A victory for them at this moment in time. If they were to score now, they'd jump out of the relegation zone and above Everton. Here's Antonio inside the centre circle, plays it out towards the right-hand side. Thomas manages to clear it. It's collected by Harvey Barnes, and then all the way back to the edge of the 18-yard box, and Johnny Evans has only just come back really from a long injury, just at the right time really for Leicester, but it might be a little bit too late. Just miscontrolled it and then plays it to Wout Faes. Opening stages have been relatively comfortable so far. 6 minutes gone. No panics just yet for Leicester City. Ball square out towards Wout Faes again. He travels up down the right side of the pitch. It's the halfway. It's now on to Samare, into Maddison. Maddison trying to turn, pokes it on, looking for the run from midfield for Kelechi Iheanacho to break the lines and get into the box. Couldn't quite work its way to him. Again, puts it out on the far side. It's a Leicester City throw.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to force it there where it wasn't quite on. Harvey Barnes was a longer ball, but I think the better option there. But it just goes to show, we wonder how nervous they would be. I'll tell you what, they've started pretty well on the ball.
TalkSport 0-0 in every single game apart from that Leeds United Tottenham game. The ball is over on the right with Kelechi Iheanacho for Leicester City on the attack, needing to win to save themselves. Infield it goes. Dewsbury Hall a little bit rushed, sends it down the right side. He's had a bit of an ankle injury, Kiernan Dewsbury Hall. He wasn't really in favour with Dean Smith when the new manager took over, then had his ankle problem. He only started 1 of 7 before today, and he started 26 of 29 before that.
There's such a balance between wanting to be really positive and get the ball forward and having that composure and playing the ball on. We just saw Iheanacho give the ball away. Dewsbury Hall has overplayed a pass there. Just in that real important moment, have that cold composure where they need to do if they are going to get that goal.
Barnes, infield to Dewsbury Hall, but it's cut out by Sofau, and then Tielemans, without any composure, just volleyed the ball forward out towards this near side, and we can go off to a goal at Villa Park. Could be a crucial one. Jeff Peters.
Aston Villa 1, Brighton 0. Douglas Luiz with his 6th Premier League goal of the season. He steered it in. If Villa win this, then they are in Europe next season. Villa 1, Brighton 0.
Yeah, Villa haven't played in Europe for 13 years, but they will finish 7th and qualify for the Conference League with a victory. And they're leading by 1-0. There's commentary of that game on the TalkSport app. They're beating Brighton. Here it's still 0-0. 8 minutes gone on TalkSport on the final day of the Premier League season. The dramatic final day of the Premier League season. It's a dusty summer haze lurking over the King Power Stadium, which hopes to be hosting Premier League football next season, but that is no longer certain. Here is Benrahma for West Ham, motoring up towards the midpoint of the Leicester half. Leicester falling back into shape, 2 banks of 4, trying to prevent West Ham from finding a way through. Goes out towards the far side. Cresswell, who has played more Premier League games than any other West Ham player than Mark Noble.
Is that right? Good stat.
Ball clipped forward by Rice. Out towards the right wing position, headed away by Luke Thomas. And travelling forward was Harvey Barnes. He's stopped by Pablo Fornals, and the ball goes out towards this near side. Goal at Stamford Bridge on TalkSport. Let's go to Jake Robson.
Chelsea 0, Newcastle 1, 9 on the clock. Anthony Gordon into the side. Well placed he was in the centre of the box. Good work by Anderson down the left. His cross, and almost a scuffed shot went underneath Kepa. He got a palm to it, but it's ended up in the back of the net. Chelsea 0, Newcastle 1.
Gordon's first goal in Newcastle colours. Will be playing Champions League football for the first time since 2003. What's happening at Goodison Park? What the early stage is looking like? Matt Jones.
9 minutes gone. It's still Everton 0, Bournemouth 0. Both teams still feeling their way into this one, and just the one chance so far. Jefferson Lerber stabbing over from near the edge of the area. Everton haven't really offered much at the other end as of yet, but plenty of time to go. Everton 0, Bournemouth 0.
Listen to TalkSport. This is what the table looks like at this moment in time. Southampton already relegated, 25 points from 38. Leeds 31 from 38. Leicester 32 from 38. Everton 34 from 38, staying in the Premier League as it stands. Here is Kiernan Dewsbury Hall for Leicester City, into Barnes. Barnes travelling back towards Thomas, and then infield to Tielemans. Whip round the corner, space here for Dewsbury Hall, who's looking to engage with Thilo Kehrer, who does very well actually to take the ball towards the byline, and then Dewsbury Hall just a little bit too eager to get involved there, stopped him from giving away a corner, and now the break is on for West Ham United, and Paqueta has found Ben Rama, who's travelling at speed down the left-hand side, jinking in onto his right foot. There's space on the edge of the area for Declan Rice. Rice was threatening to shoot, instead he went wide to Fornals. He plays the ball straight into the body of Luke Thomas, and then it comes out towards the near side, picked up by Fornals again, a low ball in towards the near post. It's flicked away by Fass and will go on to St Mary's, where there's been a goal for Alex Crook.
Southampton 0, Liverpool 1. An absolute howler from Romeo Lavia. Gave the ball away inside his own penalty area, passed it straight to Diogo Jota, and he calmly tucked beyond McCarthy into the far corner. Southampton 0, Liverpool 1.
6 goal of the season for Diogo Jota. Goal at the Emirates as well. Alfie Reynolds.
10 minutes gone, and it's a goal for Arsenal. Arsenal 1, Wolves 0. Granit Xhaka heading in Jesus' chipped cross from the right. Could that be Xhaka's final goal for the club? He's rumoured to be moving away this summer. He has just enjoyed the applause all around the Emirates. 10 gone, Arsenal 1, Wolves 0.
Yeah, rumoured to be leaving at the end of the campaign. What's his name again, Scott? Was it Granit what?
You're a bad kid, you as well.
Ball is out on the near side.
Pot and kettle, Sam, that's all I say. Pot and kettle.
So foul. Throwing the ball into Thilo Kehrer. And there was just a brief moment there where Leicester City just gave the ball away deep inside West Ham territory, and West Ham showed their counter-attacking ability, and they've got to be careful of that.
No, they did. Both teams have given the ball away. You talked about Cresswell and his experience in the Premier League. Well, he gave away a really bad pass that Leicester nearly got on the end of, and Leicester have done the same as well. So, look, you've got two teams here wanting a result for very different reasons, but just feel the one that has the composure in the final third are the ones that are going to open up the opposition defence.
Arsenal 1, Wolves 0. Aston Villa 1, Brighton 0. 0-0 Brentford, Manchester City. Chelsea 0, Newcastle 1. Palace 0, Forest 0. Everton 0, Bournemouth 0. Leeds 0, Tottenham 1. Leicester 0, West Ham 0. Manchester United 0, Fulham 0. And Southampton 0, Liverpool 1. Ball given away by Dewsbury Hall on the right side. Fornals has it. So foul in the right wing position, trying to progress forward. They play it against Luke Thomas, who comes out, shuts the game down, and it goes off and away for a throw-in out on this near side for West Ham. We now travel forward with Paqueta, who's sizing up a shot from distance. Didn't catch it at all well, and Danny Everson just allows that to go behind his left-hand upright, and it's out and away for a goal kick away to our right-hand side.
Need to be careful though with Paqueta. He's really come on in the latter half of the season, hasn't he, and looking a strong player. Just as really he wanted to play as a number 8 for West Ham. David Moyes, I think, realises he's better a little bit further up. So he's been playing as a number 10. He's been scoring, making assists. He's already shown his class in little bits of skill in tight situations. You don't want him on his left foot 20 yards out, because he will hit the target.
Earlier on today, Carlisle won the League 2 playoff final against Stockport on penalties, 5-4. The League 1 playoff is tomorrow live on TalkSport, and Dundee United are going down from the Scottish Premier League. Here come Leicester City, determined not to go down from the English Premier League. Infield they go to Barnes, and then it's a bit of a miss kick, comes back to Iheanacho, and then he scuffed his shot after a bit of pinball wizard inside the West Ham penalty area. A real mistake from Sofal, who almost seemed to pass it back into a congested penalty box, and then when Kelechi Iheanacho pulled the trigger, he didn't catch it at all well. We'll get Scott Minto's thoughts on that after we've got goal news from the Emirates. Alfie Reynolds.
Arsenal 2, Wolves 0, and a second goal of the game for Granit Xhaka, who hugs the technical area of that Arsenal support. It might be his last game. If it is, what a way to bow out. Arsenal 2, Wolves 0.
And a goal of St Mary's for Alex Crook.
And a popular one, Southampton 0, Liverpool 2. Wouldn't you know it, Bobby Firmino on his farewell appearance. He skipped his way past pretty much the entire Southampton back line, and then he's fired the ball low into the bottom corner. It's Southampton 0, Liverpool 2.
Another big chance back here for Iheanacho. We'll get Scott Minto's thoughts on that in just a second. Paquetá plays the ball left. There's loads of space for Antonio. The defence is misshapen. Antonio flips it towards the far corner, saved by Everson and parried away. And that was just a little bit too open. Here is Shrewsbury Hall picking it up in the middle of the park. Well, there's an offside flag that's gone up after Iheanacho came back from an offside position. But Scott, two great opportunities for Iheanacho in quick succession.
Yeah, you know, he's going really end to end now, and I'll tell you what, it was a really good crossfield ball, and Aged couldn't quite get on the end of it. He managed to sort it out in the end, but there's Leicester certainly looking for that ball in behind. Again, you can't force it. If it's not quite on, then just keep playing and work your way up the pitch. But sometimes it is on with the pace of Iheanacho. Then down the other end, West Ham counter. And I actually think Mikel Antonio should have done better there. 13th goal of the season, by the way, for Bobby Firmino. And there's commentary of that Southampton-Liverpool game over on the TalkSport app. Download it. You can flip between TalkSport 2, where we've got Leeds United against Tottenham Hotspur. Leeds trailing by 1-0. And we've got the Aston Villa game on the TalkSport app as well. Jeff Peters is there for us here, and they're leading by 1-0, so they're going to the Conference League as things stand. Here is Declan Rice in midfield. Oh, he gets crunched by Soumaré, and that's the last thing that West Ham fans want to see 10 days out from the Conference League final. Absolutely. And you know, someone like Declan Rice won't go down unless he is hurt. He's sitting up, so I think he's going to be okay, but that is naughty. That is painful. And he's coming there.
He's coming studs up, on the ankle and above. And
he's kind of caught the back of his heel, really, and he's got away with that one, but doesn't mean to say it's not a dangerous tackle.
That was naughty from Soumaré, and late. Here is Paquetá playing the ball in field. I'm going to follow your lead on that, Paquetá, because that's the Brazilian pronunciation, the Portuguese pronunciation. Is that right?
No fala português agora.
You live there, you should know. All right, OK. I'll do the translating. Here is Flynn Downs scruffing around with Maddison in the centre of the field, loses the ball, gives away a free kick, and Leicester have it back again. Remember, the relegation situation today is pretty simple. If Everton win, they're safe. If they drop points, Leicester can nick above them with a win. Leeds will stay up only if they win, and the other two, Everton and Leicester, lose. But Leeds are trailing at this moment in time. Maddison travelling out towards the near touchline. Thomas down the left looking for Dewsbury Hall. Thilo Kehrer will come across and kick clear from the right full-back position, and it's out and away on this near side.
I'd like to see James Maddison get a little bit more involved. You can see him coming off that right-hand side because he's not receiving the ball, more towards central, but you know the quality he's got. He's not a winger, he's more of a number 10, so he just needs to try and find a way of getting on the ball.
Yeah, also does leave a little bit of a gap in that area when they're defending. Here is Barnes, back to Soumaré, now onto Tielemans, encouraged to shoot, and he does shoot from a good 24 yards out from goal, but it's over the top of the crossbar, left-footed. It was not as accurate, precise, or as deadly as the goal he scored to win them the FA Cup a couple of seasons back. Good work from Dewsbury Hall on this near side, though, forcing the issue a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, you know, Leicester are giving it their all. They're really working hard, but I think you can see that mentally they are, you know, lacking in confidence, because, again, I'll use that word, composure. When you're playing with confidence, it's there. You play naturally. And at the moment, they're forcing things. Tielemans just leaning back with that shot.
Here is Barnes running through the centre of the West Ham half, getting it onto his right foot, moving to the right apex of the penalty area. Maddison takes over now. West Ham with lots of men behind the ball. They found Soumaré far side. Back into Maddison again. He flips the ball into the box looking for Iheanacho. Away by Kehrer. Chested down by Benrahma and smacked clear by Cresswell. And then held up well by Antonio, who causes Wout Faes all sorts of problems. He crumples, and it's a free kick on the halfway line. That goal for Newcastle, by the way, away at Chelsea, they lead by 1-0, means they'll go above Manchester United into third position in the Premier League. Doesn't mean anything at all, apart from the fact that there is a little bit of bragging rights to attach to Eddie Howe's team. I wonder if Liverpool are trying to go for the record scoreline down at St Mary's. Alex Crook.
Not quite. Southampton 1, Liverpool 2. This could be a farewell goal as well. Carlos Alcaraz, good work on the edge of the area, rolled the ball into James Ward-Prowse, and the captain steers beyond Kelleher to get Saints back in the game. It's Southampton 1, Liverpool 2.
Southampton 1, Liverpool 2. Who would have seen that coming? Southampton haven't won since the 4th of March. But 2 of the last 3 teams that Southampton have beaten at home have been from the northwest, Blackpool and Manchester City, both of them in cup competitions. This is Talk Sport. Leicester City 0, West Ham United 0. Off to Ellen Road in just a second to find out how Leeds have reacted to going a goal down early against Tottenham Hotspur. Remember, Tottenham did take the league last Saturday lunchtime live on Talk Sport against Brentford and ended up losing that game 3-1. Here's Fornals, edge of the area, first time, right-footed shot as the ball's played in from the right channel, right on the edge of the box. He turned and swiveled and hit that. If he'd caught that right, maybe Danny Everson would have been in trouble. He wasn't, it went wide.
It's a decent chance, that, and Leicester couldn't get close to Fornals. He decided to take it first time, and he should have got a better connection, had no one around him, could even have brought the ball down, but he's got to be careful of that, Leicester.
Have Newcastle angered Manchester United? Mickey Gray.
Well, this is not going to plan, Sam. It's Manchester United 0, Fulham 1. They've just got the goal at the near post on 19 minutes. It was a whipped-in corner from Willian, and Kenny Tete at the near post just gets ahead of his marker and just nips it in towards the near post and give David De Gea absolutely no chance. Manchester United 0, Fulham 1.
Yeah, Fulham want to keep their heads, unlike when those two met in the FA Cup quarter-final earlier in the season. They lead by a goal to 0. Here on the left-hand side is Saïd Benrahma, travels to the edge of the box. Antonio with an effort. As he got to the edge of the area there, Antonio was coming onto that ball, just couldn't open his body enough to try and get it towards the far corner. But that was another dangerous attack from West Ham United. And the one thing you will say about Leicester, they don't look particularly secure.
No, they don't. 1 clean sheet since the World Cup. I think that says everything, doesn't it?
And that was Monday night, yeah.
Absolutely. And West Ham are just starting to find little pockets of space as well and getting in behind. Difficult to try and score first time from that way. So in that sense, you can say Leicester defended semi-well, but West Ham just more and more coming into the game now.
0-0 here at the King Power Stadium. Elsewhere it looks like this. Arsenal 2-0 up against Wolves, doesn't really mean too much. Aston Villa going to the Conference League, they're leading against Brighton by a goal to 0. Brentford 0, the champions Manchester City 0. Newcastle looking to cement 3rd position, they're leading at Chelsea by a goal to 0. Palace Forest is 0-0. Everton against Bournemouth is 0-0. And Manchester United behind against Fulham, and Southampton 2-1 behind at home to Liverpool. What's happening at Ellen Road? Talk Sports, Mark Wilson.
Still Leeds 0, Spurs 1. Harry Kane with a goal inside 2 minutes, but Leeds had a gilt-edged opportunity on 6 minutes. Rodrigo with a cross from the right hand side. Robin Koch 10 yards out unmarked. He somehow put his header wide of the far post. Spurs look really poor at the back, but Leeds just can't take advantage. 20 gone here, Leeds 0, Spurs 1.
Any sign of an opener at Goodison Park? Matt Jones.
Not yet, no. Everton 0, Bournemouth 0, 21 minutes on the clock. Everton have had a chance. Damari Gray, the ball fell to him from a corner at the edge of the area, but he hammered it over the bar. The Blues are playing with a back 5 at the moment, which is maybe inhibiting them getting forward, but they do look reasonably solid at the back. Everton 0, Bournemouth 0.
There's a bloke down on the front row of the stand that we're sitting in. The camera's just focused on him. He's got a Talk Sport radio, and it's slammed right to his ear. He's listening to everything. Don't worry, we'll keep you updated, mate. Don't worry, we'll keep you across everything. 22 gone, you're listening to Talk Sport. 0-0 is the score. It's out towards the far side. We were looking at that team. Matt Jones talking about the fact there hasn't been too much of a sign of a goal in that game. Well, I'm not too surprised, are you?
No, absolutely not. And, you know, you're two teams that really could do with a positive result, and both those team selections, I think, were pretty defensive.
Out on the left-hand side, the ball is played towards Aaron Cresswell, but the offside flag is up on this near touchline. And Adrian Holmes, who is the assistant on this near side, very quick and smart with his flag, and Leicester have the ball back once again. 0-0. Haven't had too many chances in this game either, only half chances so far in it. And Leicester City, I think, will be quite happy with it like this. It's not at the moment too nerve-wracking for them, but they're in the game, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, look, I do think they would have loved to have got that goal in the first 15 minutes. Again, put the pressure on Everton, because all the while it stays 0-0 there. Everyone will know just one goal here, and that suddenly changes things. So they've done okay in midfield. They've worked hard. Again, I talk about that composure in terms of opening up, that final pass. James Maddison sometimes is coming off the wing and trying to play in Iheanacho, but West Ham defending very well at the moment.
The form is not with either of these two sides, really. Leicester have won only twice here since late October, and West Ham have only won 2 of the last 16 Premier League away games since September. And the Opta supercomputer at the start of the day gave Leicester an 82.7% chance of relegation. Leeds was 96.9. Everton's just 20.4. Here is Dewsbury Hall coming forward for Leicester on this left-hand side. Luke Thomas.
I would have put those two a lot closer, by the way. Everton's higher and Leicester's lower.
Would you?
Yes, I do. I think it's going to be really tight to see what happens at Goodison. Leicester have to concentrate. Your mate at the front row, he needs to watch the game because they need to score a goal.
Tielemans onto Iheanacho, looking to spin. Back heel to Barnes, right-footed shot, no power in it. Great move from Leicester, right through the middle of the pitch. Some delicate touches. Iheanacho did well to set it back for Barnes. And when it came through to Harvey Barnes, he just needed a little bit more venom in that strike from the edge of the penalty area.
Yeah, he did. He needed to really come onto it. He's kind of already there and therefore had to generate the power. But that's what I'm talking about. Rather than just long balls, play the ball in 10, 15-yard passes. Really good wall play for Iheanacho there. Taking that touch, looking up and laying it off.
Benrahma coming centrally now, plays the ball out wide. Fornals looks up, he's moving towards the right edge of the Leicester penalty area. West Ham on the attack. There's not much happening in midfield. It's all sort of end-to-end stuff, isn't it? You attack, then we attack.
There's no protection there at all, is there?
No. It's quite scary, really. Ball out over on the left-hand side, especially if you're a Leicester City fan. Nails are going to be bitten to the quick by the time we get to the end of this game. And you said it was tight. It is already very tight. You know, both teams 0-0. Leicester here and Everton at home against Bournemouth.
I think the Leicester fans are already used to all season them their back four not having too much protection.
Yeah, well, I mean, some of the games have been rather horrific defensively.
But it is tight. It is tight. We know that West Ham, look, you know, they're turning up, they're trying to play, but they don't have that extra edge that Leicester do. So Leicester need to try and capitalise on that. Yes, of course, we're 25 minutes in. There's no goals so far, but it's been a positive start from the home side. Again, just that one word, composure.
Benrahma picks it up for West Ham. He's on the edge of the centre circle, then moves towards the edge of the box. Right-footed shot, cannons off Johnny Evans, comes back out wide towards the right. So foul with a low cross into the area, turned away by Fast. And then it's out on this near side. But it's far too easy for Benrahma to travel from the edge of the centre circle to the edge of the D and then play a pass which is unchallenged.
And Soufal, he's making the overlap as well. He's not quite in the box, but he's in line with the box, and no one's making that challenge. He plays it inside. It's a really good ball, and Fast does well defending it on his left foot.
This is TalkSport on the final day of the Premier League season. The scores are like this. Arsenal leading 2-0, but there's been another goal at Villa Park. Jeff Peters.
It's Aston Villa 2, Brighton 0. Ollie Watkins with a tap-in, ending his goal drought. I think they're going to have a look at a challenge where Brighton gave the ball away. Brighton have actually had a goal disallowed themselves, but as it stands, it's Villa 2, Brighton 0.
We'll confirm that goal for you in just a second. There has been another goal at Stamford Bridge. TalkSport's Jake Robson.
27 on the clock. It's Chelsea 1, Newcastle 1. It's come via a well-worked free kick that's seen Raheem Sterling pick up the ball on the edge of the area. He's fired in the cross, and I think it's come off Kieran Trippier. The Tannoy man gave it to Sterling, but no doubt about it, come off the Newcastle defender. It's an own goal, so it's Chelsea 1, Newcastle 1.
What a chance for Iheanacho's hit the top of the crossbar, set up by Maddison, laid back to him, and he curled the ball left-footed towards the far corner, and it hit the top of the crossbar. What a chance for Leicester.
Yeah, really good play from Leicester there, the crossfield pass, and then the ball came in. Iheanacho does so well to bring it down at the far post. Plays a little 1-2 with James Maddison, and on his left foot you're thinking he just hit the target, does the hard bit bringing it down. Oh, that's literally inches above. Keeper's beaten, absolutely beaten.
Goal at the Emirates, Alfie Reynolds.
26 minutes gone, Arsenal 3, Wolves 0. Bukayo Saka with his 14th goal in the Premier League this season. Superb season for the Arsenal man who recently signed a new contract. Wolves look all at sea. Arsenal 3, Wolves 0.
Let's go to St Mary's. A quick goal from Alex Crook.
Southampton 2, Liverpool 2. Kamaldeen Sulemana with his first Premier League goal. This time Liverpool caught playing their way out from the back. Walcott with a pass. Sulemana with a low finish. Southampton 2, Liverpool 2.
Back here it's 0-0. Leicester on the attack with Barnes down in the left wing position, trying to jink past Sofau. Moves in towards the penalty area. Tries to play it back. Can't quite get there, and it's cleared away by Fornals, who's helping out. It then falls towards Dewsbury Hall. Paqueta has it now, travels centrally, and Maddison won the ball back. No one reacted. They wanted a foul, and Leicester stopped for a second, but they've won it back now. Moved down the left. It's Barnes into the centre. Dewsbury Hall over the top of the crossbar.
Wow, and the crowd here are really getting behind the team, because the team are giving the crowd really good performance in the last few minutes. They win the ball back. I don't think it was a foul in the first place on Paqueta. It wasn't. It was a perfectly timed challenge from James Maddison. He's already in the middle. The ball goes out to Harvey Barnes. He plays the ball inside, and Dewsbury Hall has to hit the target. It's not the easiest strikes first time, but you have to hit the target.
This is Talk Sport. We're live at the King Power Stadium, and we've played half an hour, and it's Leicester 0, West Ham 0. But Dewsbury Hall and Kelechi Iheanacho have had a couple of really good chances in this game, and they've hit the crossbar. Here's Antonio down the right-hand side for West Ham United, who themselves have had one or two good opportunities. Antonio into the centre, fast dabs it. Maddison's back inside his own box, helping the ball forward, and he's found Iheanacho on halfway. I'll tell you what, when I saw Iheanacho limp off the pitch at Ellen Road after setting up a Jamie Vardy goal earlier in the season, I didn't think we'd see him again this campaign, but he's here and he's making a big contribution.
Absolutely, and that's why he's starting the game, isn't it? Jamie Vardy on the bench, ready to come on if need be for the last 20 or so minutes, but Iheanacho, he's actually kind of dropping off. He's not playing as a typical number 9, but when he does play up there, he adds that threat in behind, but he also drops off and plays in the midfield, so it's really good play from him at the moment.
We'll go around the grounds in just a second and give you an update on all the scores in just a moment, but Leicester are on the attack here with Soumaré just right of the centre circle. Half an hour gone in the game as it stands. Everton staying in the Premier League, and Leicester are going down. They need a goal from somewhere. They don't necessarily need it now, but at some point they're going to need a goal.
No, they don't need it now, and the way they're playing at the moment, as I say, just in the last 5 or so minutes, you get the feeling momentum is with them.
And when you've got momentum, you've got to take advantage of it. Maddison picks the ball up, right apex of the penalty area, clips the ball to the far post, almost snuck through to Barnes, headed away by Sofau, and then out comes Fabianski and catches the ball at its highest point and clears it away. Arsenal lead by 3-0. Aston Villa are 2-0 up against Brighton. There's commentary on the app if you want to listen to that. They're going to the European Conference League. Brentford 0, Manchester City 0, Chelsea 1, Newcastle 1, Palace 0, Forest 0, Everton 0, Bournemouth 0. Everton staying up at present. Leeds 0, Tottenham 1. Leeds going down. Leicester 0, West Ham 0. Leicester going down. Manchester United 0, Fulham 1. Manchester United dropping to 4th place at this moment in time, and it's Southampton 2, Liverpool 2. West Ham have the ball on the halfway line with Declan Rice, the captain. He travels just to the left of the centre circle, goes back to Flynn down, so we'll go off to Goodison Park. What's the latest from Matt Jones?
And it's still Everton 0, Bournemouth 0 with 31 minutes gone, but Everton have just had the first shot on target, the best chance yet, as Gay was slipped into the area, had a go from about 18 yards, but a fingertip save from Travers tipped the ball over the bar. Everton 0, Bournemouth 0.
Back here it's still 0-0 at the King Power Stadium in the Premier League, live on Talk Sport. And Maddison, who's getting on the ball with more regularity now, is starting to pull the strings in this game. He sends the ball down the left towards Thomas. Thomas sending it for Iheanacho to chase, and he had a little nudge in the back of Thilo Kehrer. And the free kick is given in West Ham's favour. But you just get the feeling now that there is a little bit of favour going in Leicester's direction. We'll ask Scott Minto about that in just a second, but first of all off to Selhurst Park. There's been a goal for TalkSport's Ollie Klink.
Half an hour gone, Crystal Palace 0, Nottingham Forest 1 against the run of play, but it's Taiwo Awoniyi who's given Forest the lead. Lovely feet after a through ball inside the box, and he smashed the finish past the keeper. Forest ahead, half an hour gone, Crystal Palace 0, Nottingham Forest 1.
And any Tricky Trees fans might want to follow that live on the TalkSport app. We've got commentary for you right now. Crystal Palace 0, Nottingham Forest 1, and Taiwo Awoniyi becomes the first player to score in 4 successive Forest Premier League matches since Stan Collymore in the 90s. Congratulations to Awoniyi. Scott, what have you made of the way that this game has sort of gone in Leicester's favour in the last few minutes? Is it all to do with Maddison getting more touches?
Yeah, absolutely. I was saying earlier, he needs to come off the wing a lot more. He's doing it again now. He's on the ball. You know, the class that he's got. First of all, if I'm a fullback, I'm saying, yeah, I want to play against you out on the wing because you're not going to beat me in behind. But as a midfielder, he just makes things tick, and Leicester very much on top at the moment.
Here's Barnes moving towards the edge of the box, plays it to here. Nacho gets the ball back down the left channel. It's Harvey Barnes for Leicester City into the far corner to put them in front, and Leicester City score a massive goal. Harvey Barnes was left out last Monday, but he's back in the team with a bang today, and Leicester City have hope. They lead. And if the scoreline stays like this, they'll be staying in the Premier League. The chairman gets out of his seat, high-fives every supporter in front of him because he knows just how big that Barnes goal could be. Leicester lead by a goal to nil. Scott Minto.
Absolutely brilliant play from Harvey Barnes there, coming in off the left, playing a 1-2 with Iheanacho. Again, that wall pass. That number 9 when he's playing there, keeping the ball or just playing it first time. He played it first time there. Harvey Barnes used his pace to get in behind Soufal. And then we talked about composure. Had that composure just to side-foot it into the far post. And that was a wonderful finish there. And it was so important for Leicester City to get that first goal. It will start seeping through, Sam, to Goodison Park.
It certainly will, because that goal means, as it stands right now, Leicester are staying in the Premier League. They jump up above Everton into 17th position, 34 points from 38 games. But crucially, they have a much better goal difference than Everton. And that goal could be the one that saves Leicester City. How has that news gone down at Goodison Park, Matt Jones?
Well, the atmosphere is still quite flat here. Everton 0, Bournemouth 0. The Blues have been getting better and having more chances. Gay has seen another from distance save, but the crowd will surely have to react and try and lift their players at some point, because they know now that they need a goal if they're going to stay safe. It's Everton 0, Bournemouth 0.
Well, Dean Smith pulled it out the bag once upon a time with Aston Villa. Can he do it again with Leicester City? They lead here by a goal to nil. That goal scored by Harvey Barnes, their top scorer. The man who maybe, if Leicester were to go down, would be playing his last game for the club. There would be takers.
I think there's a few that would be playing the last game for the club if that was the case, but Harvey Barnes would be one of them. Look, Leicester deserved to be one up. They've been the better side. It was quite even in the first 15 or so minutes, but they've just stepped it up. They've created a couple of chances, very much on top.
Dewsbury Hall down the left side, a little back heel, and he plays it centrally. Samari onto Maddison. Maddison edge of the box, right-footed shot, narrowly wide of the right hand upright. Look, Everton have played in the top flight of English football for the last 69 successive seasons. It's a massive story if they go down, but it's also huge for this club. Formerly champions of England, in fact much more recently than Everton have been champions of England. FA Cup winners, Champions League competitors, Europa League campaigners. They're surprised that they're in this situation, which is probably one of the reasons why they are in this situation. But if they win here and Everton don't win at Goodison Park, they will stay up, and they are winning here.
Well, listen, if they stay up, they'll have gotten away with it, because there's 3 worse teams than them, and ultimately I suppose that's what you have to do. But even if they do stay up, it's been a shocking season, but it's all about today, the here and now, and they have stepped it up when they need to do so far. But you do get the feeling, Sam, there's going to be a lot more twists and turns until the end of the game.
Yeah, don't go anywhere, because it's not over yet. The score is Leicester 1, West Ham 0 on TalkSport with Now Sports. And don't forget, with Now Sports you can stream all the Sky Sports action, like Leicester versus West Ham, Everton versus Bournemouth, live right now for $11.99. No contract. Search Now Sports. Iheanacho pokes it through to Maddison. Maddison's on the edge of the penalty area. He's surrounded by 3 claret and blue shirts. He shoots towards goal. It takes a deflection, goes into the air, goes behind, and it's out and away for a corner kick.
Well, James Maddison's running the show at the moment, and closely followed by Iheanacho as well. Very clever between the two. Iheanacho just dropped off there, and it was James Maddison running in behind. Not the quickest, but he used a bit of skill, and in the end it was good defending from West Ham.
Corner kick to be taken by Yuri Tielemans away to our left-hand side. Leeds are losing at home against Tottenham. Everton drawing 0-0 with Bournemouth, and Leicester winning here means Leicester at this moment in time are staying in the Premier League. Hold on to your seat. It's not going to be a very comfortable seat for the next few hours, I wouldn't have thought. Here is Tielemans, plays a 1-2 with Barnes and sends it into the congested West Ham penalty area as Leicester go on the attack again. It's over on the right side with Kelechi Iheanacho. He's tight to the touchline, comes back in field, gives it to Luke Thomas. Thomas into Iheanacho, and moves forward and plays it square. Now Tielemans out to Barnes on the near touchline, and then it goes back in field to Tielemans once again. Harvey Barnes with the goal.
I wonder how many Leicester fans would love to just fast forward time right now. 55 minutes of playing time. This finish like this.
If it stays like this, there will be one hell of a party, I think, in Leicester tonight. I think beforehand, a few of the Leicester fans were suggesting that maybe they won't, even if they stay up, they'll still be a little bit, downbeat because of what's happened over the course of the season. I think sheer relief will mean
that's the word.
that there's quite a lot of alcohol consumed tonight in Leicester city centre. Tielemans onto Iheanacho, but that relief is not real just yet. There's still a long way to travel on this Premier League road. We've only played 39 minutes. The ball is out wide on the left. It's with Dewsbury Hall of Leicester City. They lead by a goal to nil on TalkSport on the final day of the season. And what's that noise all about? What is that noise all about? Oh, I haven't heard anything in my ear. Ball is on the right-hand side. No goals anywhere as far as we're concerned. And the Leicester fans are going balmy. And we've got coverage of the Everton game. There's nothing happening as far as we're concerned. Ball forward by Maddison down the left towards Iheanacho. It's collected and taken towards the corner flag. Barnes has it now and then goes centrally into Tielemans. Tielemans plays it down the left in towards Iheanacho. Maddison tried to get there. It comes up and goes for a goal kick. Quickly, let's go to Matt Jones. Nothing happened, right, Matt?
There's definitely not been a goal here. It's Everton 0, Bournemouth 0, though Bournemouth did come very close. Senesi just about squeezing a shot out and it went just past the post. Pickford was well beaten, but other than that, there's definitely not been a goal. Everton 0, Bournemouth 0.
I don't know what happened there, but there was definitely not a goal at Everton. So let's go down to the game at Villa Park where there has been a goal. Let's speak to TalkSport's Jeff Peters.
It's Aston Villa 2, Brighton 1. Dennis Undav has scored a sublime goal. Cute-headed touch, wrong-footed Mings swept it home, given as offside. VAR said it was onside. It's Villa 2, Brighton 1. Some game.
Yeah, listen, guys, I told you beforehand, don't worry about your apps. We're faster, we're more accurate than those today. Make sure you're listening to TalkSport. You should be every Saturday anyway. But today, without doubt, you need nothing else. TalkSport, the TalkSport app, get your DAB digital radio, take it with you wherever you go on final days of the season. Trust me, it's the only way to keep up with everything.
I noticed your mate at the front row didn't stand up.
No.
He was listening.
He was there, I saw him. And there's been a goal at Old Trafford, Mickey Gray.
It's the equaliser, Sam. 39 minutes gone here. Manchester United 1, Fulham 1. Great play from Fred. A lovely little give and go in the 18-yard box, and it fell kindly to Jadon Sancho, 3 yards out, just to tap the ball into the back of the net. Manchester United 1, Fulham 1.
Iheanacho goes down injured over on the far side after a challenge. He's complaining about it. It was Declan Rice who went in, got the ball, and then actually I think it might be Iheanacho and Rice who sort of tangled after the event.
Yeah.
I don't think there was anything in that.
No,
really.
nothing at all. In fact, Declan Rice, once he made the tackle, tried to almost just stop his momentum, but because Iheanacho had put his foot down, Rice then went into
Betfair. Well, Leicester staying up, Leeds and Everton are going down as things stand. Another 45 minutes of the season to go. Leicester leading West Ham by a goal to nil. Give us the half-time odds on that one.
Yeah, absolutely massive goal from Harvey Barnes, that, wasn't it? Leicester in a strong position in the betting market now. They're as short as 4 to 11 to go on and claim all 3 points. West Ham 19-2 to turn it around and get the win. The draw in that one 16-5.
Sam, thanks very much. That odds update is all thanks to Betfair. Returns accurate as of 10 minutes ago. For verification, see betfair.com. Over 18s only. Conditions apply. Go to begambleaware.org.
Game day on TalkSport with Betfair. Get a hand from Betfair's popular bet builder and easily add our fan favourite football selections to your bet slip. Terms and conditions apply. See support.betfair.com. 18 plus begambleaware.org. This is Game Day. Half-time classifieds.
Premier League, Arsenal 3, Wolves 0, Aston Villa 2, Brighton 1, Brentford 0, Man City 0, Chelsea 1, Newcastle 1, Crystal Palace 0, Nottingham Forest 1, Everton 0, Bournemouth 0, Leeds 0, Spurs 1, Leicester 1, West Ham 0, Man United 1, Fulham 1, Southampton 2, Liverpool 2. In the League 2 playoff final finish, Carlisle 1, Stockport 1, Carlisle won 5-4 on penalties. And in the Scottish Premiership, Kilmarnock 3, Ross County 1, Ross County faced Partick in a playoff first leg Thursday night. Motherwell 3, Dundee United 2, Dundee United relegated, and St Johnstone 2, Livingston 0.
There can be only one Monday afternoon. TalkSport brings you the League One playoff final live.
He's followed it high into the roof of the net.
A place in the Championship awaits either Sheffield Wednesday or Barnsley.
It's a sensational goal.
Breathtaking build-up from one. Kick-off 3 p.m. exclusively on TalkSport.
The TalkSport Sports Bar. The radio speakeasy for aficionados of sport. Sometimes you want to go where Jason Condy knows your name. His name's Glenn.
Glenn. Go on, Glenn, boy.
And O'Hara's glad you came.
Mike, thanks for your call.
You want to moan when you're on the phone that the referee's to blame. You want to be where everybody loves the game. The Sports Bar opens Monday to Thursday nights from 10 on TalkSport.
Wednesday night, the UEFA Europa League final live on TalkSport.
It's a thunderous belter!
Sevilla versus Roma.
And he scores!
Coverage from 7. Kick-off 8 p.m.
He's been on fire all day!
Wednesday night on TalkSport. Solid gold football action. Levitate above the humdrum.
Game Day Live
on TalkSport. Official broadcast partner of the Premier League.
Wow, what a first half already, and there's another 45 and more to come of this season when it will all be decided. Everton, 69 successive seasons in the top flight. Could it be about to come to an end? Could this be the very last top flight game ever at Goodison Park? After next season, they move into the new ground at Bramley Moor Dock, and next season could be in the Championship. As it stands, it will be in the Championship. No more top flight football at Goodison Park as it stands. Other end of the table, Manchester United in third, Newcastle in fourth. Villa will take the Conference League place, but goals anywhere could change anything. We're focusing on the bottom. Leeds United went a goal down early on in that first half. Harry Kane with it, his 29th of the season, and so Leeds looking doomed. Everton here, goalless. They've had penalty shouts, they've had chances, there's been saves from the Bournemouth keeper Mark Travers as well, but it remains goalless. And if it stays like that with Leicester leading, Leeds and Everton will be going down. Scott Minto at Leicester 1, West Ham 0. Sounded like a cracking goal from Harvey Barnes, and it sounded like Leicester deserved that in the first half.
Absolutely, tick on both of those points, Aid. Look, the first 15 minutes or so were quite even, really. Not really too many chances. I thought Leicester were running around a lot without having that kind of composure. You could see they had that nervous energy in them. But then the game settled down. James Maddison started coming in off the wing and bossing things. Iheanacho was dropping off or sometimes going in behind as well. But the goal itself, great play from Harvey Barnes. And again, it was a nice 1-2 off Iheanacho. the Iheanacho's weight of pass of that 1-2 was perfect. It meant that the momentum that Harvey Barnes had built up with his speed, he could get in behind Soufal. And then it's a question of, do you have that composure? I mentioned that word quite a few times in the first half, but he certainly did that, and he passed the ball past Fabianski into the inside side netting of the far goal, and it was a wonderful finish, and absolutely been by far and away the better side. And I'll tell you what, Abe, I'm thinking now, if I'm a West Ham player, I'm 45 minutes away from my next game being a European final. How much do I really want to come back into this? Not quite 100% in the way that Leicester need to. So fascinating second half to come. Let's see.
Well, Everton need a goal. They've just come out for the second half. At the end of the first half, there was boos from the Everton fans. I think it might have been more towards the officials not giving Stuart Atwell not giving Everton a penalty from 3 shouts in that first half. But Everton needs a goal. If they win, remember, they stay up. Everton have 45 minutes to save their Premier League lives here at Goodison Park, and they may even need a favour from their old manager David Moyes. Here's West Ham a goal down, and as it stands, Leicester staying up. Second half then at the King Power Stadium. Leicester 1, West Ham 0. Scott Minto and Sam Mathpace.
So we've had a 17.5-minute half-time here in order for the Premier League to ensure that this game kicks off at a very similar time to the one at Goodison Park, because the game at Goodison Park, as I understand it, kicked off about a minute later than the game here, and then there was 3 minutes of added time. So they've just tried to synchronise things, Scott. How important is that?
Yeah, rightly so. You know, look, it's not going to end exactly to the second, but I think if you can start it to the second, which you should be able to, or pretty close to, then, you know, at least the second half starts and almost finishes at the same time. Look, we've got a fascinating 45 minutes to come. If Leicester carry on playing like that, then they will win this game, and it really puts the pressure onto Everton at Goodison. But can Leicester hold out? Will they start to get nervous? Will West Ham come into the game? Will Jared Bowen come on and use his pace? So many questions yet to be answered.
Talk Sport, the best place to be on the final day of the season. We are at the King Power Stadium with Leicester leading by a goal to 0 thanks to Harvey Barnes, who scored after 34 minutes. We're still awaiting Simon Hooper to get the all clear on this near touchline. He's looking at the fourth official and the Premier League match manager, who are in deep conversation. I think they are trying to synchronise exactly with what's happening at Goodison Park. The signal's been given, we're underway, and the second half begins live on Talk Sport with Leicester City defending the goal away to our left and attacking the goal away to our right, all in blue. And West Ham United in claret and blue attacking the goal away to our left-hand side. We've got a goal very early in the second half at St Mary's, Alex Crook.
Southampton 3, Liverpool 2, from 2-0 down. The home side in front. It came after a Liverpool attack. Southampton broke quickly. Kamaldeen Sulemana picked up the ball in the centre circle, kept running and running, and then he's fired into the bottom corner from 20 yards out. Southampton 3, Liverpool 2.
What a rare, strange turn of events. The end of the season does bring some very odd results, bearing in mind Southampton haven't won a game since March the 4th and won once at home in the Premier League in 2023, and that was when they beat Leicester in March. Here the ball is over on the far side, and it's with West Ham United and Soufal into the centre, away by Fass, who clears from the edge of his own penalty area. And the winds of change blowing through the King Power Stadium. It's got a little bit murky overhead. It's a bright sunny day prior to kick-off here. It's not the case now. It's got a little bit chillier. The weather's turned.
You're doing well. It's only the T-shirt still, Sam.
It is, yeah.
You got a bet with yourself. You're not putting a jacket on.
Ben Rama down the left-hand side, tricking his way into the box. He flips the ball up. There's a chest away from Evans, who felt he was being touched from behind by Antonio, knocked him to the floor, and it's going to be a free kick on the edge of the 6-yard box for Leicester City. Dean Smith has never beaten David Moyes, and he's never beaten West Ham. Now would be a very good time to start. And these two teams met in the final Premier League match for the second time after West Ham recorded a 4-3 win at Upton Park, 97-98. That game included doubles by Samassi Abu for the Hammers and Tony Cottee, who was playing for Leicester City at the time. This is the Tony Cottee derby, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
I saw him downstairs, actually, Tone, earlier on today.
Great guy, TC. Great guy.
Foul has been inflicted on Harvey Barnes over on the far side, and he's on all fours now inside his own territory. Just trying to get to his haunches. There has been a goal at Ellen Road. Just how big is this goal at Ellen Road, Mark Wilson?
It's all over surely for Leeds United in the Premier League. Tottenham Hotspur scored within 90 seconds of the restart, won the ball inside the Leeds half, played into Pedro Porro, and he drilled it into the bottom corner past Robles, who gave him no chance. The boos already. You're not fit to wear the shirt. Ringing around Ellen Road. Leeds are going down. It's Leeds 0, Spurs 2.
Leeds are going back to the Championship, and they're going back to the Championship because they've conceded the most goals in the league by some margin. That's 76 over the course of the season. They conceded within 2 minutes of the first half starting. They've conceded within 2 minutes of the second half starting, and you have to say that that's the kind of thing that undoes you on the final day of the season. It undoes you throughout the course of the campaign, and that's been their issue.
You took the words right out of my mouth. How can that happen? Big Sam will be pulling his hair out.
Barnes down the right-hand side for Leicester City on the attack, looking to save themselves in the Premier League. Offside flag goes up belatedly. He did have a touch and a half of the ball before eventually Adrian Holmes raised his flag on this near side. It is a free kick to West Ham United. Back to Big Sam, you were saying?
Yeah, could have carried on what I was saying. You know, you set up a defensive team. Question marks will be saying about, oh, that's too defensive. So what you cannot do in the first few minutes of each of the half is concede. Now, obviously, we've not been able to see the goal ourselves, but, you know, that's a mentality thing, Sam. That's nothing that Big Sam can do about it. I'm going to start calling you Little Sam now between the two. You're Little Sam, he's Big Sam, but he'll be livid.
Here is Ben Rama in the back of Timothy Castagna, trying to play the ball square to Antonio, and then Samare does very well under pressure from Paqueta to turn inside, draw a foul inside his own penalty area, win a free kick and take the pressure off the Leicester defence. I mean, Leeds United, look, they wilted under pressure from West Ham after taking the lead the other week, and you know, they just haven't seemed to show that fight, that character, that desire that was so evident and apparent under Marcelo Bielsa.
I think it's been ever since that Palace game almost, isn't it? Oh. You know, 1-0 up, almost coming up to half-time, suddenly, bang, goal. They lose heavily, 5-1, 6-1 the next game against Liverpool, and ever since then, you know, I think the game before that was Nottingham Forest, where they got the win.
If they'd beaten Crystal Palace that day, they'd been basically safe.
Sliding doors moment.
Oh. I mean, it's been a terrible end to the season for Leeds United. It's been a great end to the great start to the day so far for the Leicester chairman.
The top. Sorry, Sam, I just finished on Leeds. The Premier League will be poorer without them in it. It's a real shame, but you know, ultimately you get what you deserve.
Two lads are listening to their radios in the front row of the stand, still keeping a keen eye on what's going on here as their eyes dart from one end to the other. It was a bit of a basketball match in this game early on, but we've got a free kick to West Ham just in front of their own penalty area, so we'll go off to the game at Goodison Park and find out how their second half has started there. Matt Jones.
5 minutes gone in the second half. It's still Everton 0, Bournemouth 0. Quite a subdued start to the second half for Everton. They've not been as good on the ball as they were before the break. They've given away quite a lot, and as of yet they've not created a chance either, although there was a free kick into the box from Gray then that was comfortably cleared. Everton 0, Bournemouth 0.
The implications of relegation are real for both Everton and for Leicester City. Leicester City lost 92 million quid last year. They've got a 182 million pound wage bill, along with an Australian bank that is secured against future Premier League television rights. They need to stay up. Everton's financial problems well documented. Corner for West Ham United over on the far side, back here at the King Power Stadium, with Leicester leading by a goal to 0 at the moment, saving themselves in towards the near post, and it's flicked by again, and it's narrowly wide of the upright. And Leicester, who have had so many problems from defending set pieces over the course of the season, almost conceded another goal.
Yeah, I think that's come off Johnny Evans. He's tried to head it away, and it's come off the back of his head. He's just missed it because Aguez jumped in front of him, so he's not seen it. He's not able to therefore time it properly, and instead of his forehead, it's come off the back of his head.
That was almost a massive moment of danger for Danny Everson and for that Leicester defence. Cresswell to take the corner from the near side, left-footed. He's got a great delivery from this sort of area. He sends it towards the edge of the 6-yard box. This time Evans' header is a little bit cleaner and he sends it away. It comes back via Flynn Downs towards the West Ham left. They're on the attack again with Saeed Benrahma, whose right-footed cross is delivered towards Aged. Evans is there once more, and it's then headed away by Samare out towards the far side. Collected by Paquetá. who travels towards the midpoint of the Leicester half, lays it through the middle towards Rice. Rice onto the left. It's taken on by Cresswell. Tight to the touchline near side is Benrahma, getting the better of Castagna. Castagna does well, holds firm and manages to find Maddison, who will then bring the ball down this right side. He gets away from Benrahma. That's brilliant. Carrying the ball from Maddison into Tielemans just when his team needed to take the pressure off. And now it's sent wide, down the right. Again, chasing with Iheanacho to get the ball. There's a very soft foul that's been given in Aguerd's favour there.
Well, actually, three things there. First of all, really good defending from Castagna. Looked like he was beaten by Said Benrahma, came back in. Then James Maddison looked like he was just going to hook it down the line and somehow got away from two, if not three players. And what about the pace from Aguerd? Iheanacho's quick, but he did in for pace there, over 20 yards.
Yeah, Aguerd, brilliant in terms of pace. They may well need that when we get to the Conference League final. The West Ham game away in Prague against Fiorentina is live on TalkSport. We'll be there in Prague with Dean Ashton and Adrian Durham. And we'll get there the day before. We'll bring you all the flavour of what it's like to be in Prague as well. We'll do the same in Istanbul with Manchester City. Although both those games, those huge games, live on TalkSport. The Europa League finals live on TalkSport on Wednesday night as well. Leicester playing good football and getting out from the back well, up through the middle of the pitch via Dewsbury Hall. He plays it centrally to Maddison, who takes it in, controls it, turns away, plays it back to Dewsbury Hall left side. He travels to the edge of the box. He needs some support now, but he hasn't got much of that. But it's West Ham players who are drawn to him. They smuggle the ball out, and it's away for a throw-in over on the left-hand side. There's been a goal at Old Trafford for Mickey Gray.
Well, they've turned it around. It's now Manchester United 2, Fulham 1. Great reverse pass from Fred again with the assist. Fernandes beats the offside line, has one touch and then just dinks it over Leno into the back of the Fulham net. Manchester United 2, Fulham 1.
Bruno Fernandes has been terrific for them over the course of the season, and Manchester United win that game. It'll be a 41st win of the season. 41 wins from 61 matches. I think they would have taken that at the beginning of the campaign. Leicester think they should have had a foul, and as a result of it, the ball has broken to West Ham and they're moving up into Leicester territory. Cresswell's got hold of it now. Dean Smith looking agitated. John Terry is out on the edge of the technical area, berating the assistant on this near side, and then taking his seat back on the bench as he's had his say. Former Chelsea captain. Here is Declan Rice forward towards Antonio, looking to roll past fast. He's got support from Benrahma. Benrahma allows Antonio to hold on to the ball, and then Rice takes it on midway inside Leicester territory. Cresswell's got it now. Manchester United look as if they're going to secure third place in the league with that victory over Fulham. Leicester look as if they're going to secure a place in the Premier League for next season if it stays as it is right now. They're above Everton on goal difference, thanks to their 1-0 lead that they have here. But a goal for Everton changes everything at Goodison Park. Fornals down the right, onto Sofau. He's crossing to the box, he's aimed towards Antonio. Flicked away by Fass, and it goes behind. A goal for West Ham changes things here as well.
Just about to say that as well, and I wondered about the reaction of West Ham in the second half. Would they really be up for it, or would one mind be, or part of their mind be on the Europa Conference final? They've reacted really well, and Leicester been on the back foot.
Leicester have spent 9 seasons back in the Premier League. Their average finish of 7th in the last 7 seasons. They could be the second Premier League champions to be relegated should they go down today. At the moment, they're saving themselves. The corner on the far side to be taken by Cresswell. It's a congested 6-yard box here. Aguerd up from the back, he's occupying the near post. There's a bit of shirt pulling. Everson jumps into the sky, grabs the ball above the head from the on-rushing Aguerd and Thilo Kehrer, and it's cleared away by Leicester City, and they lead by a goal to nil. These are the scorelines in the Premier League this final day of the Premier League season. Arsenal lead by 3 goals to nil at home against Wolverhampton Wanderers. That's the latest scoreline. Aston Villa are 2-1 up against Brighton. It's Brentford 0, Manchester City 0. Chelsea 1, Newcastle 1. Crystal Palace 0, Nottingham Forest 1. Everton 0, Bournemouth 0. Tottenham are 2-0 up away at Leeds. Leicester leading here by a goal to nil. Manchester United 2-1 up at home against Fulham, and Southampton are beating Liverpool by 3 goals to 2. Here's Maddison. Lovely turn and then dart in towards West Ham territory. Another little turn, a shimmy. He keeps hold of the ball brilliantly, plays it towards the left. Terrific football. It's out towards the left-hand side. There's been a goal at Goodison Park. We'll tell you about it as soon as this play develops here. It's gone back into midfield. It's with Luke Thomas. Let's go there. It's Matt Jones.
There's been an absolute screamer. It's Everton 1, Bournemouth 0. 57 minutes on the clock, and Goodison has erupted because Abdoulaye Doucouré has just smashed into the bottom corner from 25 yards. The ball fell to him from a partially cleared cross, and he absolutely hammers it into the bottom corner, and it's probably no more than Everton deserve. The players are still celebrating because at this moment, if scores stay as they are, Everton are staying up. Everton 1, Bournemouth 0.
There's a real hush around this stadium now, a murmur of disquiet. The West Ham fans are letting the Leicester fans know that as it stands, they're going down. Leicester will be relegated because of that Everton goal from Abdoulaye Doucouré, his 5th of the season. It could be the biggest goal he scores in Everton blue. Leicester City, leading by a goal to nil, will have 34 points from 38 games, but jumping above them thanks to that goal. Everton, 36 points from 38 games. They always knew if Everton were beating Bournemouth, they could do nothing about it, Scott Minto, and all they can do now is win this game.
Did you say to me at half-time you fancied Everton to score? You did say that, didn't you? Well, there's nothing they can do, Leicester, apart from just win this game. What you don't want is Bournemouth to score a late equaliser, and you haven't done the job here. So they've got to make sure they keep this clean sheet.
Ball is out on the right side with West Ham so foul. It comes into the penalty area and it's clipped towards the far side. Barnes travels forward. They've got to make sure they do their job. Do their job and anything can still happen. But they have to see this through. They can't take the foot off the gas, even though the atmosphere has significantly changed, eerily changed so quickly inside this stadium.
Yeah, I can only hear the West Ham fans now, but I'll tell you what, Sam, the last 20 minutes, those Everton players, even being 1-0 up, will get very nervous indeed.
Antonio towards the edge of the box, the West Ham fans singing "You're Going Down" as Ben Rama picks it up onto his right foot, turns it towards the far corner, hits the post, comes back into the penalty area, and they just about get it clear. Antonio goes down after a tangle with Thomas, and then a free kick is given against him over on the far side. A really nervous moment there because the West Ham fans might have been singing "You're Going Down." They would have been had that have got in.
I'll tell you what, the whole defence just opened up there as well. It was a great overlapping run where one of those use me by not using me, and Ben Rama comes inside, creates that space, and he just tries to whip it to the far post. He was a yard further out, I think it would have curled in. Everson was absolutely beaten there. West Ham have been really good the second half, I have to say. Leicester not quite able to control the game like they did in the first, and how often do we see that happen?
Story happening at Everton where they're leading by a goal to nil. Abdoulaye Doucouré with the goal. Around here, everybody checking radios, checking apps, trying to find out if there's any information. They know that their future depends on the fate of others. It's in the hands of Everton and Bournemouth at this moment in time. They're leading here, Leicester City, by a goal to nil, but it's not enough because if Everton win, then Leicester are going down. And Everton have really struggled with their home form. 10 defeats at Goodison Park this season, the worst home run in their league history. They've only won 7 games all season in the league, but they're winning at this moment in time, and it could be enough to keep that grand old club in the Premier League for another season. There's been a goal at the Emirates. TalkSport's Alfie Reynolds.
Arsenal 4, Wolves 0. 60 minutes gone here. Gabriel Jesus heading in Trossard's cross. This game done and dusted. It might not end in a Premier League title, but the Gunners are finishing in some style here. Arsenal 4, Wolves 0.
That's over 100 goals for the season in all competitions for Arsenal now. The 19-year wait for the title can go on, but they do equal a club record for most Premier League wins in a single campaign with a victory today. Leicester have won a free kick over on the far side. Glum faces inside the King Power Stadium. They're doing their job, but Everton are also doing theirs, and as a result, at this moment in time, Leeds and Leicester are going to the Championship. Ball is on the touchline on the far side, and it will be taken by Tielemans. A free kick in the left wing position into Fast. Fast rises, guides the ball in, and Leicester City have a lifeline. They're going to do their job at home at the King Power Stadium, but their fate is in the hands of others. Wout Faes guiding the free kick from Tielemans home to give Leicester a 2-0 lead, and all they can do now is cross their fingers.
Absolutely, but still, Sam, get the job done. Don't concede at all. Make sure you keep that clean sheet, and don't you get nervous in the last 20 minutes, because I'm telling you now, at Goodison Park, in those last 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, it's human nature. They will just drop off. But here, Leicester are getting the job done. Really good header from Wout Faes. Great ball in. I mean, question marks will be asked about the defending, and I'm sure David Moyes won't want that kind of defending in Prague, but
Leicester 2-0 after West Ham coming back into it in the second half. They are getting their side done.
Jared Bowen and Danny Ings coming on for Antonio and Saeed Benrahma here. Fireworks going off outside Goodison Park. What's happening inside Goodison Park? Matt Jones.
Yeah, still Everton 1, Bournemouth 0. The atmosphere inside the stadium has completely lifted. As you say, fireworks were going off over the Gladys Street end. There's been some flares let off in the stadium as well. The fans are absolutely loving themselves at the moment, but their team hasn't had any further chances since that Abdoulaye Doucouré goal, and they'll be hoping that a second does come so they can ease the nerves over the final 28 minutes. Everton 1, Bournemouth 0.
Any chance of a Bournemouth goal, Matt? Has there been any attack from them?
We haven't seen one in the second half yet, really, in terms of a chance. There's been a save from Travers at the other end from Damari Gray, but Bournemouth, all their chances really came at both ends of the first half. Second half, not so good.
OK, we'll keep in touch with you. Everton leading at them at this moment in time. Leicester going down despite leading here by 2-0.
Brilliant job that Gary O'Neill's done, absolutely brilliant, but he won't want to finish the season with 4 defeats.
Bowen, the substitute, down the right side, cutting in, left-footed strike into the near post, and it goes behind and away. For a goal kick away to our left-hand side. There's been another goal at St Mary's. TalkSport's Alex Crook.
Southampton 4, Liverpool 2. Ruben Selles bowing out on a high. Adam Armstrong within seconds of coming off the bench. He seized on a poor pass from Jordan Henderson and fired low left-footed into the bottom corner. It's Southampton 4, Liverpool 2.
Amazing. Southampton have got their worst defensive record since 1991. They haven't scored that many goals either, but they've scored 4 in one day against Liverpool. They scored 3 against Arsenal. There's been another goal somewhere else. Where was it? It was at Selhurst Park. TalkSport's Ollie Klink.
Equaliser for Palace. Crystal Palace 1, Nottingham Forest 1. Will Hughes has headed home an Elise cross, and Palace are level. Hour gone. Crystal Palace 1, Nottingham Forest 1.
West Ham fans taunting the Leicester supporters 2-0, but you're going down is what they're singing over on the far side in the corner of the stand opposite us. The West Ham fans getting ready for their trip to Europe in a couple of weeks, but Leicester doing the job on them here. Iheanacho trying to get in behind as the ball's played forward to him. He holds it up brilliantly. Again, he's been terrific today. On to Barnes' left side, moves into the penalty area, tries to backheel the ball to Iheanacho. It wasn't the greatest delivery. Goes back to Thomas, and Leicester will look to build. We've got 25 minutes to go. You're listening to TalkSport. We're live at the King Power Stadium. We're Leicester leading by 2-0. Leeds trailing by 2-0 at Ellen Road, live on TalkSport 2. And Everton leading by 1-0.
It's all about Goodison now, Sam. I can see West Ham just, they don't need to even get a point out of this game. Leicester are 2-0 up already. It's all about Goodison, what's happening there.
As long as Leicester don't stop playing. At this moment in time, they've played well. They've constructed chances, scored goals, and put themselves into a position where they could, should Bournemouth get an equaliser, stay in the Premier League. Here on the right side, the ball is with Castagna in towards the back post, and it's headed away by Sofao. It's down by Paquetá and then nudged back towards the edge of the penalty area. Flynn Downs, and now Bowen keeping hold of it over on the far side, and he is caught by Johnny Evans. That's going to be a yellow card for Johnny Evans.
Johnny Evans didn't need to make that tackle, or if he did, commit a little bit earlier. Then he kind of stopped, and then he went again. So once you stop, just stand up, let Bowen run into you. But by diving and making the tackle, pretty simple for someone like Bowen and the pace that he's got, just to nick it past him and then get the contact, and there's a yellow card.
2-0 here. Here's Rice over towards the left, and Fornals clipping the ball in towards the chest of Danny Ings, looking to turn and trying to fire a shot away, but he's stopped by Tielemans, who drags them up the pitch again and moves up towards the middle of it. It's caught by Ings. Look, circumstances are different here, right? Because the onus is definitely on. There's a yellow card. Is that going to be for Ings for dragging him back? I think it is. Circumstances are different here, obviously, because of the situation that both clubs find themselves in, and there's context that needs to be applied there. But there will be Leicester fans that are asking this question. Where are these performances?
Absolutely.
Where's this fight, this dogged determination, this absolute will to win, this dig in and help out and do whatever it takes to get over the line? Where's that attitude been all season?
Why does it get to the last couple of games of the season to throw yourself at the ball, to work really hard? I mean, I was at Craven Cottage as well, and they were shocking. I mean, they were 3-0 down at half-time. It could have been 5 or 6. The 5-3 scoreline, trust me, it flattered them.
I saw the game. It was unbelievable. It was chaotic. It was frenetic. It was so lacking in control. There was no protection for the defence.
It's happened all season. You know, people might sort of say, oh, well, Dean Smith, that gamble at St James's Park, that didn't work. And you can turn around and say, no, it didn't. But they haven't got relegated on the last 2 matches. They got relegated of everything else that went before it.
No, but that approach will come under question now, won't it? Because ultimately,
from you probably,
but it has backfired. Because you know, if they had won that game on Monday night and won this one, they would be surviving.
Yeah, it's a big if.
It's a big if, but you're right. There's no if you don't go for it.
No, listen, and I think the bottom line is there'd have been criticism either way. You know, he will turn around and say, Dean Smith, we would have gone for it against Newcastle at St James's Park, but we haven't kept a clean sheet since before the World Cup. We would get torn apart like the game against Craven Cottage. But people might turn around and say, well, you could at least have given it a go. You gave the power back to Everton.
Yeah, Everton have got the power at the moment, and there has been a goal at Ellen Road. TalkSport's Mark Wilson.
Yeah, one back for Leeds. Jack Harrison, neat finish from the edge of the box. It was met with a big roar of defiance from the home crowd, but they've got plenty of work to do. 23 left. Leeds 1, Spurs 2.
Maddison jinking his way towards the edge of the penalty area, bounding his way to the box, trying to get the shot away. Didn't have the power by the time he got there to get it away because he'd been tugged and pushed and pulled as he was trying to wriggle free of 3 West Ham defenders' grasp. Aguerd, Tilo Kehrer and Vlad Sofau, but he still showed such trickery and poise that he is going to be a sought-after commodity.
He will be, and it reminded me of like a Paolo Di Canio.
Bowen on the right side, fires a shot towards goal, then sets up Danny Ings over the top of the crossbar. What a miss from Danny Ings. Good save initially by Iversen, whose shot from Bowen was repelled by the big Danish goalkeeper, but it came back to Danny Ings, and that's why he hasn't scored a goal in any of his last 9 appearances.
Absolutely. Just talking about James Maddison, the way he reminded me of Paolo Di Canio, not the quickest but so skillful and created a chance for himself, but that chance there from Danny Ings, my goodness me, he's 8-10 yards out, right in front of goal. You have to hit the target, get over it.
Leicester leading by 2-0 here, but Everton leading at Goodison Park means they'll be relegated. Let's get there with Trevor Sinclair and Matt Jones.
It's still Everton 1, Bournemouth 0, though there's just been a very hairy moment for Everton. Dominic Solanke going through to try and have a shot on goal, but Jordan Pickford was there in the way of him. Now those two have had a coming together afterwards. Solanke's just been shown a yellow card, and I think Pickford's going to get one as well, though Pickford needs some treatment as well after the incident where they did come together. Trevor Sinclair's alongside me. You've been in this situation before with so much riding on the last game of the season. What are the nerves going to be like for the last 20 minutes?
Well, I think they would prefer another goal, wouldn't they? Because you can see there's a bit of danger there still with this Bournemouth side. They're not going to give up. And on that occasion, it was a fantastic claw away. You know, he was desperate to get there. Solanke looked like he could have got there, and between himself and Conor Cody, managed to just get the ball away. And then there was a coming together between the pair of them, and Solanke and Pickford. Obviously a little bit of ego there, and yeah, he split it up, Tarkowski. But yeah, it's a difficult time with that game because the Everton players will want to get that second goal or 90 minutes ASAP.
They certainly will. 20 to go. Everton 1, Bournemouth 0.
At this moment in time, Everton are staying up. Leeds United are going down with Leicester. Kieran Dewsbury-Hall comes off on this near side. He's going to be replaced by Mendy for the last few minutes of this game. Let's head off to Ellen Road because there has been a goal, and it's not great news, Mark Wilson.
No, Leeds back in it for a matter of seconds. Harry Kane on the break. Cooper's header in midfield fell to Spurs. They broke forward. Porro fed in Kane. Edge of the box, drove in on goal. Fine finish. His 30th league goal of the season. Leeds 1, Spurs 3.
Well, that is a fantastic return from Harry Kane, who becomes the first player to score 30 Premier League goals in multiple seasons since Alan Shearer. Let's go off to St Mary's. There's been a couple of goals down at St Mary's for Alex Crook.
Oh, this is utterly bonkers. Southampton 4, Liverpool 4. Cody Gakpo off the bench. He turned in a low cross from Trent Alexander-Arnold at the far post. Seconds later, Salah rolled the ball forward to Jota. He smashes it into the top corner. Southampton 4, Liverpool 4.
Maxwell Cornet has come on for Paquetá. Emerson has come on for Aaron Cresswell here. I just wonder whether or not there's fantasy managers scratching their heads everywhere going, what on earth is going on down at St Mary's? It's ruining my team. Of course, there'll be people in draft leagues, in fantasy leagues everywhere that just need a big result today to win the league or to get into a decent position or maybe avoid being bottom of the table. And these things change people's moods.
Crookie's had a few 0-0s over the season, hasn't he? So he deserves a good one today.
4-4 down at St Mary's. It's been a busy old day up and down the country. We said at half-time there'll be an inordinate number of goals today. It's Arsenal 4, Wolverhampton Wanderers 0, Aston Villa 2, Brighton 1. Aston Villa going to the Europa Conference League. Brentford 0, the champions Manchester City 0. Chelsea 1, Newcastle 1. Crystal Palace 1, Nottingham Forest 1. Taiwo Awoniyi getting 10 goals now for the season. Everton 1-0 up against Bournemouth. That's relegating both Leeds and Leicester. Ball in towards the near post from the left side by Emerson Palmieri, the West Ham United fullback, but it's cleared away and Maddison's got the opportunity to break now. He's found Kelechi Iheanacho. He wants the return. He's going to get the return, Maddison, as Leicester respond from one attack and construct one of their own. Iheanacho just slows it down as he gets it back from Maddison. He's waiting for numbers to join and they keep hold of the ball. Leeds 1, Tottenham 3. Leicester 2-0 up here. Manchester United are going to claim third place. They lead Fulham by 2-1, and Southampton 4, Liverpool 4, the latest scoreline down at St Mary's. But all important games really are the fact that Villa are getting into the Conference League and Everton are staying in the Premier League, and Leeds and Leicester will be perishing. There's a bit injury to Jordan Pickford at Goodison Park. TalkSport's Matt Jones.
Yeah, we actually haven't restarted play since you were last with us, Sam. Still Everton 1, Bournemouth 0 then, but 4 minutes Jordan Pickford has been down for receiving some treatment. It looks like it's to his finger. I'm not sure if maybe he got stood on during that incident when he had the coming together with Solanke. It does mean that Asmir Begovic has been warming up on the touchline. He hasn't played in the Premier League since September, but it does look as though Pickford is going to be okay to continue at the moment, which will be good news for Everton. Everton 1, Bournemouth 0.
Back here it's Leicester City who lead by 2-0, but it's West Ham on the attack with Declan Rice swinging the ball to the far side. Sofau heads the ball back into the penalty area, comes back out as far as Flynn Downs, back to Declan Rice once again. Is he playing his last Premier League game for West Ham today? I'm sure that all of that will become more apparent in the fullness of time. The transfer window opens in June and we will keep you updated with everything that happens over the course of the summer.
Unfortunately for West Ham, I think that's a yes.
Here's Sofau into the right wing position, low ball into Danny Ings, and that was a more difficult chance, but it's centred in the same place over the top of the crossbar. When Leicester beat Tottenham Hotspur on February the 11th, and they've won 1 in 15 since then, they were 13th in the table.
Wow.
I mean, the decline has been so steep that it borders on a sheer vertical drop.
Yeah, and as I go back to, you've left it too late with the last 2 games. Again, you can talk about the tactics, but that is just not good enough. That's relegation form. It is what it is. And after the international break, there were 9 teams that were very much in with the relegation shout. Palace came out, Roy Hodgson came in, did really well. Gary O'Neill, fantastic job. Steve Cooper left it late, but got away from all happening on the final day. And Everton, maybe you look back at that Brighton game and say that was the one. That was the coupon buster. That was the one where you weren't expecting to get all 3 points. Without that, it'd be in Leicester's hands.
And I saw James Maddison pull up in his red Ferrari before the start of the game today, and my mind went back to that tweet that he sent to Rob Tanner when they lost at Southampton.
He was wrong, Sam. He was wrong and Rob was right. He was absolutely right.
But that was indicative of the problem. They didn't realise they were in a relegation battle. Totally. They didn't accept that they were in a relegation battle. And because they would refuse to entertain the fact they thought they were playing well enough and had the players to get out of it, they thought they would. But by the time they realised, it was too late.
Do you know what? I don't think they did think they were playing well enough. Maybe they did. I would be surprised if they did. I just think James Maddison didn't want.
Maddison gets the ball back from Iheanacho, then shoots towards goal, takes a deflection and goes wide of the right-hand upright.
I tell you what, he has been superb today, hasn't he?
Been terrific.
Great play, just coming in off the right. No one can get anywhere near him. And again, a little 1-2 with Iheanacho, and a fantastic deflection there from Maggard, I have to say, otherwise that was going in.
Jamie Vardy is coming on to replace Iheanacho, who again has been terrific for Leicester City today. He comes off, Vardy comes on. We'll go off to Goodison Park. TalkSport's Matt Jones.
Still Everton 1, Bournemouth 0 with 76 minutes gone. A yellow card has just been shown to one of the Bournemouth bench. There was a very heavy tackle on Connor Cody, which got awarded as a free kick to Everton, but somehow the Bournemouth man, Vigna, got away without getting a booking for it. So we had that long delay, Trevor Sinclair, and I think that's just taken a little bit of the sting out of the game.
Yeah, I think it suits Everton because they've not had anything to defend since then. It's stop-start and they're controlling everything. There's been no chances at Pickford, and I think it'll definitely suit the way Everton want to run the clock down and finish this game off with a win.
They've got 14 minutes left, but there's going to be a lot of injury time, at least 3 or 4 minutes for that delay for the Pickford injury, so we will be well behind you when it comes to full time, Sam. Everton 1, Bournemouth 0.
Jamie Vardy is one more than you. Sing the Leicester fans to the West Ham supporters over on the far side. Vardy on for the last few minutes of the game. They've got a corner here. Leicester City. Yuri Tielemans comes over and applauds the fans. There's almost an air of resignation now inside this stadium because of that scoreline at Goodison Park. And it's almost as if they are trotting out the old stars before they move on to pastures new. Here is Tielemans with the corner on the near side. He swings it right-footed in towards the near post. Away by Maxwell Cornet. Goal at the Emirates. It's TalkSport's Alfie Reynolds.
Arsenal 5, Wolves 0. Jakub Kiwior with his first goal in the Premier League. It wasn't pretty. A really scrappy goal, which Sarr really should have kept out. But it's Arsenal 5, Wolves 0.
Arsenal ending the season on a high after what has been a really good season. I wonder if the fans will stay right to the end today to pay tribute.
Absolutely. It's been a good season for them despite what's happened at the end.
Fornals out on this left-hand side, moves towards the edge of the penalty area, strikes the ball low and hard, hits the inside of the post and scores for West Ham United, and they're on the score sheet. It's 2-1. And Pablo Fornals, who went darting down the left channel, there was too much room for him to run into, and he caught out Daniel Iverson at his near post by arrowing the ball in off the upright, and it's Leicester 2, West Ham 1.
Well, now it just gets even more nervous now, doesn't it? And, I mean, you look at how many Leicester players there are. There's 6 players up against him, and he's able to still get the shot off, and that's pretty much indicative of Leicester's defending this season. Excuse me.
Yeah, it was a brilliant finish from Pablo Fornals, but he was allowed to get the shot away. No one closed him down, no one engaged.
They're dropping off and
just backward steps,
allowing him to have the shot. Don't get me wrong, really good finish, really clever finish at the near post, but that was poor from Leicester.
It really was. 2-1 the score here, and that's why Leicester City are not going to be in the Premier League next season should the scoreline remain the same at Everton, because they've just conceded too many goals. They don't keep clean sheets. 1 clean sheet since the World Cup. That was last week when they put 20 men behind the ball. They just don't do it. It's Leicester 2, West Ham 1 on TalkSport with Now Sports. And don't forget that with Now Sports you can stream all the Sky Sports action like Leicester versus West Ham and Everton versus Bournemouth live right now for $11.99. No contract. Search Now Sports. I thought there was an attack developing, so I tried to go very fast to do that.
You went on double speed there,
if you missed it, you can watch the streams of these games, West Ham away at Leicester and the game between Everton and Bournemouth live right now for $11.99. No contract. Search Now Sports. That's normal.
How hard was that for you?
No,
that was normal speed. That was slow.
That was
tough.
Was it slow? Okay, all right. Ball is with Rice trying to travel up the pitch. He sends it down the right touchline, comes off Samare, then Rice touches it again, it goes out of play. Dean Smith just trying to encourage his team, but he knows it's a forlorn task now. There's another cheer away to our right-hand side. Matt Jones, what's happening?
Still Everton 1, Bournemouth 0. In fact, Everton have just had a chance to make it 2-0, but they failed to do so. A quick counter-attack. Damari Gray slipping at the crucial moment, though, after being played in by Onana, and he eventually skewed his shot wide. 10 minutes to go, plus added time here. Trevor Sinclair, and at the moment, it's going Everton's way.
It is. I think the game management's been superb. You know, the stop-start, but the control of the game is all been with Everton, apart from a little foray that Bournemouth had about 5 minutes ago. Little chance there by Damari Gray. He's got it 1-against-1 in the box. Stay on the ball until you can really hit the target. Bit disappointed for him, but he has worked hard for the team as a focal point.
He certainly has. There's still plenty of time for something to happen. Everton 1, Bournemouth 0.
I think there is a social media influencer who is playing a trick on the Leicester City fans and suggesting that things are happening that are not happening. There is no goal at Everton. There is no goal anywhere else in the Premier League. There is every chance at this moment in time that Leicester are going to be relegated. But from what I understand is that there is a social media site that keeps tweeting out that there's been a goal, and it is having a reaction in this stadium. As I said to you at the beginning of the game, guys, the only place to keep across the results on the final day of the season is TalkSport. We're first, we're fastest, we've got the accurate news when it happens. If you want trusted sources, this is where you need to be.
It's twice they've got up now.
It's actually heartbreaking, really, because the level of the elevation of the sort of emotion was so much there.
It's not right. It's not funny.
Do you know what? It ain't funny. 2-1 to Leicester City. Everton are leading in their game at home. It means that Leicester are going to be relegated. And, you know, that James Maddison tweet, despite what he said, the ingredients are all there for relegation. 22 Premier League defeats across a season, the most defeats in a season since 1994-95 in any division, the fewest points since 29 in 03 and 04, that relegation season. And it's a warning to anyone else getting overconfident with a high-flying finish. Leicester finished 5th in the Premier League, both in 1920 and 2021, 8th last season. The fall when it comes is a quick and sudden drop.
Now, what I was saying earlier was I'd be surprised if James Maddison really believed they were playing well enough. What I think he wanted was that the fans not to come and be on the back foot straight away. They give the ball away and they'd be on top of the players. But Rob was absolutely spot on.
83 minutes gone. The ball delivered into the box towards the far post by Emerson, looking for Maxwell Cornet, whose bicycle kick sends the ball over the top of the crossbar. And it's out of play and away to our left-hand side. And it's a goal kick to Leicester City. Since the World Cup, their form has been absolutely dreadful, and after a dodgy start to the season appeared to be rectified. They've won just 3 of their last 22 Premier League games before today.
I thought they were going to get away with trouble just before the World Cup, because they did. They did, yeah. And then after the World Cup, you're expecting, okay, well, kick on. They didn't. It's not a tap. You can't turn it on and off.
Let's get to the GK Community Stadium in Brentford. A goal for Joe Shannon.
Brentford 1, Manchester City 0. Ethan Pinnock 8 yards out. Fine finish into the bottom corner. Brentford 1, Manchester City 0.
Shouldn't be too much of a surprise. Brentford lost only 2 of their last 18 Premier League home fixtures this season. They were in with a chance of sneaking into Europe today. Not impossible, but they would need to win at home for the champions and also hope both Villa and Spurs drop points. They're not. They're both winning, and Villa are going into the Conference League instead. Rice delivers the ball towards the back post for West Ham United. Out comes Everson, manages to claim, sits on the ball, will hold on to it for a little while longer, and we'll go back to Goodison Park. Matt Jones.
It's still Everton 1, Bournemouth 0, 84 minutes on the clock. Bournemouth are really coming into the game now, though. Everton are looking very, very tired. They're defending deep with that back 5. There's a lot of heavy legs out there, and Sean Dyche is going to try and rectify that soon, because Ellis Sims is going to come off the bench, but Damari Gray, he's clearly just pulled up with cramp, and Bournemouth are enjoying a lot of possession and getting balls into the box. Everton are getting very nervous. Everton 1, Bournemouth 0.
Well, there's not long to go now, and the nerves will be real, because any Bournemouth goal means that Leicester stay in the league.
And I said that, didn't I? Last 20, it's human nature. They've been running around, they've been working hard, but also mentally tired, and knowing how close they are to that finishing line, they will drop off.
The problem is that arguably Leicester City are more vulnerable when they've got a lead than when they haven't.
Don't say that. If they're 2-0 up, and Bournemouth score an 8 goal, and then they concede a second as well.
Yeah. Have you watched Leicester this season?
I have, but
it's not beyond the realms of a possibility. It could happen.
It's not. You're
Bournemouth
right.
could score at Everton.
Yeah, but that would be the worst.
Every chance that this set piece that West Ham have just won could end in an equaliser.
That would be worst case scenario, wouldn't it, for the Leicester fans here?
Lanzini on. Flynn Downs is off for the final few minutes of this game. We're in the 86th minute. And the way it stands at this moment in time is that Everton are staying in the Premier League thanks to Abdoulaye Doucouré's goal, his 5th of the season and his most important of his Everton career. It could save the team. It could keep them in the Premier League under Sean Dyche. Sean Dyche, who was appointed after the sacking of Frank Lampard. Here is the free kick taken by Fornals towards the far post, flicked into the air by Wout Faes, and out for a corner to West Ham United over on the far side. Arsenal are winning by 5-0. Villa going to the conference leading 2-1. Brentford 1 up against the champions. 1-1 between Chelsea and Newcastle at Stamford Bridge. The same scoreline, Palace, Nottingham Forest. Everton 1-0 up against Bournemouth. Leeds 3-1 down to Tottenham. They needed a win today, Leeds. They haven't. Leicester 2-1 up here. Manchester United 2-1 up against Fulham. They're going to finish in third. And Southampton, the bottom club, 4. Liverpool 4. Corner, West Ham, away to our left. Swung in by Jared Bowen in towards the near post. A flick on by Cornet, then stopped by Vardy. Into the air it goes. It's away by Leicester, who look to try and counter-attack. Maddison does well to keep hold of the ball. He sends it down the right-hand side, and Vardy now is going through the left-hand side, and Barnes looked to try and find him, but didn't have the ability to get the ball over Emerson, and it's cleared away by West Ham United, and that threat of a counter-attack is over. West Ham face Fiorentina in Prague in the season's Europa Conference League on June the 7th, live on TalkSport. It's their third major European final. They were in the Cup Winners' Cup in '65, and they beat 1860 Munich at Wembley. They were in the 1966 Cup Winners' Cup when they lost to Anderlecht in Brussels. And you do wonder what will happen in Prague. We will be there to find out. But
in the 99 Intertoto final as well, Sam, thank you very much.
Oh yeah, did you not? You won that, didn't you?
We did.
I think they played in the Anglo-Italian Cup as well before that, Scott, but you know.
Trevor's on one side, I was on the other.
We're concentrating on major trophies here.
That hurts, but you're right.
Here is Lanzini down the left, up to Tielemans, who tries to bring the ball away. There's no such joviality for the Leicester fans as the ball goes down the right into the penalty area, looking for Bowen. Oh, it's cleared away by Evans out towards the far side. Maddison tries to bring it clear, and eventually he managed to do that. It has been an intriguing Premier League season, the most attended Premier League season, and the average attendance has hit over 40,000 for the first time. Maddison down in a heap over on the far side, needed some treatment. We've got 8 teams in Europe if West Ham win that Conference League final. Vardy's going through the middle, header away by Aguerd. Let's go off to Goodison Park. What's the latest, Matt Jones?
2 minutes plus added time to go. Still Everton 1, Bournemouth 0. Everton have just had a chance to make it 2-0, but Tarkowski couldn't quite climb high enough to get enough on his header, and he headed over the bar from McNeil's cross. Bournemouth enjoying some possession at the moment, but Ellis Sims has come on for Everton to replace Damari Gray, and that just gives them a little bit more legs, doesn't it, Trevor Sinclair?
Yeah, I think that's the reason why Everton were getting so deep. Damari Gray spent a lot. He's worked really hard for the team, been a good focal point for Everton, but he was just out of gas, and the sooner that substitution could happen, the better for Sean Dyche, because they were just dropping deeper and deeper, and it looked to be getting in a dangerous situation. So now you've got Ellis Sims, fresh legs. He should control this game to the end.
Everton just trying to keep hold of the ball as much as possible and run down that clock, but there could be 7-8 minutes of added time because of the injuries and stoppages that there have been in this second period. So there's still plenty of legs left in this game. Everton 1, Bournemouth 0.
Back here, there is anguish amongst the Leicester supporters, fear and realisation etched into their faces. They can remember the unbridled joy of the title, the FA Cup, the European adventures. But there is an acceptance now that this team have not been good enough. Maddison down on the floor, over on the far side. Brendan Rodgers sensed it 18 months ago when they lost to Forest in the FA Cup. He said that Schmeichel and Vardy were fading. They needed a refresh. It didn't happen. Maybe he should have left when he knew it wasn't going to work, but it's easy to say that from the outside. And this club are not going to survive, not unless Bournemouth do them a massive favour now. They played in the Champions League just 6 years ago. I remember seeing them win in Bruges. Mark Albrighton scoring their first ever Champions League goal. They beat Porto at home, then they went to Sevilla and Madrid. It's now certain that the most exotic place that they will be heading is the capital, not of Spain, but the capital of Wales. But there are 6 minutes of added time here, and it'll be interesting to see how much added time there is at Goodison Park and just how nervous Everton become as West Ham try to release Maxwell Cornet down the left-hand side. He scampers forward, and the offside flag goes up against him. The budget will be slashed. There will be people's lives that are affected by relegation. There are 10 minutes of added time at Goodison Park.
Wow, still plenty of time for Bournemouth to nick one, counter-attack, set-piece, mistake. I hope it's not a mistake, but you just never know. Well,
There's another change here. Castagna coming off, Ricardo Pereira coming on. Maddison has continued to hobble down in front of us despite picking up an injury. And there is a feeling as if this game is just drifting to its conclusion now, with 6 minutes of added time being allotted. But there's 10 at Goodison Park. Leicester champions in 2016. Champions League and Europa League campaigns have been often. Now it's going to be the championship for this club that gave everybody the chance to believe that their club, anyone, could win the top flight. One of the most amazing moments in Premier League, if not the most amazing moment in Premier League history.
Certainly in English football, not just Premier League years. When you think about the powerhouses of all the teams in the Premier League, and little old Leicester came and just absolutely blitzed everybody. I don't think of it. I can't think of a bigger story.
Maddison goes down the right-hand side, tucked away by Emerson. It's going to be a goal kick over away to our right-hand side, off to Goodison Park. Matt Jones.
And there's a bit of a stoppage in play here again. It's Everton 1, Bournemouth 0. Connor Cody has just made a terrific tackle on Dominic Solanke. As it proved, the offside flag had gone up anyway, but in his follow-through, Solanke stood on Cody's ankle, and he did spend a little bit of time down injured. He's up now and moving okay, which is good news for Everton, because they don't have to make any more subs. But 90 seconds or so of the 10 minutes added on have already elapsed. No further chances, but it is still very nervous here, with the fans trying to just eke a little bit more energy out of their players. Everton 1, Bournemouth 0.
It is going to be a good day for Everton. Calvert-Lewin's been injured. He's never been able to get a run in the team. Seamus Coleman was stretchered off against Leicester here. Patterson's had a hamstring injury. Mikalenko's been out with a groin injury. Godfrey and Davies injured as well. They couldn't even fill their bench today, and they had 2 goalkeepers on that bench. The financial situation at the club has been absolutely desperate, and they started the day 2 points above the relegation zone. Midway through the first half, they dropped into the relegation zone, but now Everton Football Club look as if they are going to survive, as long as they don't concede between now and the end of the game. But here on the left-hand side, West Ham probing for an equaliser. Ings into the penalty area, comes back towards Fornals, and he just leathers it over the top of the crossbar. But there's every danger that Leicester still might concede another one.
Well, we're talking about Everton might be dropping off, being tired, getting nervous, but it looks like Leicester are a little bit as well. West Ham not really sort of throwing everything at it, but just stepping it up slightly, and Leicester not able to handle it at the moment, showing again the vulnerability that defensively they've had all season.
Well, it's the first time in 25 years that Everton will be fighting, and have been fighting, against relegation on the final day. Back then, Howard Kendall was in charge. They drew 1-1 against Coventry. Bolton lost at Chelsea, and Everton stayed up on goal difference. They beat Wimbledon in 1994 to secure their own safety. They needed an 81st minute winner from Graham Stewart that day. Today, it's Abdoulaye Doucouré that seems to be saving Everton from the drop. A drop that they haven't experienced since 1951. And they're just minutes away now from securing that, because Leicester, even though they're leading here, drop points at Newcastle on live right now for $11.99. No contract search now, Sports. Iheanacho pokes it through to Maddison. Maddison's on the edge of the penalty area. He's surrounded by 3 claret and blue shirts. He shoots towards goal. It takes a deflection, goes into the air, goes behind, and it's out and away for a corner kick.
Well, James Maddison's running the show at the moment, and closely followed by Iheanacho as well. Very clever between the two. Iheanacho just dropped off there, and it was James Maddison running in behind. Not the quickest, but he used a bit of skill, and in the end it was good defending from West Ham.
Corner kick to be taken by Yuri Tielemans away to our left-hand side. Leeds are losing at home against Tottenham. Everton drawing 0-0 with Bournemouth, and Leicester winning here means Leicester at this moment in time are staying in the Premier League. Hold on to your seat. It's not going to be a very comfortable seat for the next few hours, I wouldn't have thought. Here is Tielemans, plays a 1-2 with Barnes and sends it into the congested West Ham penalty area as Leicester go on the attack again. It's over on the right side with Kelechi Iheanacho. He's tight to the touchline, comes back in field, gives it to Luke Thomas. Thomas into Iheanacho, who moves forward and plays it square. Now Tielemans out to Barnes on the near touchline, and then it goes back in field to Tielemans once again. Harvey Barnes with the goal.
I wonder how many Leicester fans would love to just fast forward time right now. 55 minutes of playing time. This finish like this.
Well, it stays like this, there will be one hell of a party, I think, in Leicester tonight. I think beforehand a few of the Leicester fans were suggesting that maybe they won't, even if they stay up, they'll still be a little bit, downbeat because of what's happened over the course of the season. I think sheer relief will mean
that's the word.
that there's quite a lot of alcohol consumed tonight in Leicester City Centre. Tielemans onto Iheanacho, but that relief is not real just yet. There's still a long way to travel on this Premier League road. We've only played 39 minutes. The ball is out wide on the left. It's with Dewsbury Hall of Leicester City. They lead by 1-0 on TalkSport on the final day of the season. And what's that noise all about? What is that noise all about? Oh, I haven't heard anything in my ear. The ball is on the right-hand side. No goals anywhere as far as we're concerned. And the Leicester fans are going balmy. And we've got coverage of the Everton game. There's nothing happening as far as we're concerned. Ball forward by Maddison down the left towards Iheanacho. It's collected and taken towards the corner flag. Barnes has it now and then goes centrally into Tielemans. Tielemans plays it down the left in towards Iheanacho. Maddison tried to get there. It comes up and goes for a goal kick. Quickly, let's go to Matt Jones. Nothing happened, right, Matt?
There's definitely not been a goal here. It's Everton 0, Bournemouth 0, though Bournemouth did come very close. Senesi